PSG. Spoilers! It was really good. So go back and watch it.
Yeah,
see what I did there? See, it wasn't spoilers.
That's a good thing.
I'm helping the people.
10 seconds
You know, I saw a
remaining.
post that was out there on Twitter where somebody messaged us and said, please don't spoil the other games that are
5
going on in the same
seconds
heat.
remaining.
I think that should apply to like all of the games because like there's some people that maybe they just want to go back and look through some of their favorite teams and then they'll check out the other ones later.
I can't help myself, though.
No, it's true. And I want to rewatch these
I want to
games, too.
apologize, guys, so it's okay.
That's fair. It's the Canadian way.
So this is, we get the opener for Pain.
Yeah.
They haven't played yet today, so this is very exciting.
This is a team that I think we should also preface it by saying some people are thinking they're going to be rather weak. I think that they're going to do pretty well here based upon the performance that we've seen. Newbee, a team that I'm not sure people are sure how to rate because it's that weird combination of really good experience but sort of sketchy results. You know what I'm talking about?
10
Yeah,
seconds
they were a
remaining.
team that got the vast majority of their points in the first half of the year, so they were able
5
to
seconds
get their way
remaining.
to TI based off of that in the DPC.
Okay.
And they're a bunch of chickens. As Payne are
apparently.
clearly pointing out here. Who would have thought Payne would be using the chat wheel? That's odd.
Before the horn, before the start of the game.
I know, they got that new technology.
Enchantress.
I wanted to find out how to do that. Apparently, it's something about like putting your mouse off screen and
Oh,
then
yeah.
using it.
Yeah.
You know how to
technology. Yeah. I cannot divulge anything else. Valve, has sworn me to secrecy.
do it. Fair enough. Pain, no, though. They got the inside track. Should also mention that we have a lovely production team that are here from Romania, and they've got their own boy here that they're cheering
10
on, and
seconds
Weeha as
remaining.
well. So a little bit of hometown love.
But not that hometown.
5
No
seconds
technical
remaining.
advantages here.
That's true. That's a good point. Everything is going to be by the book. Promise it's all good and dandy.
Oh, the pause. Oh, it's so weird.
Everybody DC'd on Newbee. I don't know what happened. Yeah, but let's see. It's going to be the Enchantress first pick. They let the Enchantress through.
Oh my God, they picked the... Okay, so this is a hotly contested thing. This idea of Ursa versus Ench, because traditionally, Ursa, well, it counters Ench.
Yeah.
But, now Ench, she's got this whole Dispel thing with her enchant. That's really annoying because it takes off your big swipey swipes. Your whole idea that you're overpower, you want a lot of attack speed,
10
gone,
seconds
Dispelled,
remaining.
see ya.
Yeah.
That's no good.
Well, and that's how it
5
counters it.
seconds remaining.
He doesn't counter it with Earth Shock. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you're supposed to just punch her.
But I think that's one of those mechanics that was added in, and everybody was like, oh, okay. And then you take a minute, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, Diffusal Blade's gone. All these other things, these Dispels, they're all gone. It was like suddenly Ench just has one. That creates some problems,
It does.
turns out.
And a hero that can also bully the lanes early on if you want to pick up a creep or two. Usually you don't get too many points up into enchant, though. I feel like I've tended to see like a first skill maybe, but often it's like either the heal or the untouchable, and whichever way you do it. The other thing, too, is that it's just like the little poke in the eye. So I want to see what Pain Gaming have up their sleeves to try and deal with this hero, because if you're letting it through, you have to have a plan.
That's what we're going to have to assume at the very least. And Newbee, so they, this is not their first game. So they already played up against TNC, and they were using the Shadow Shaman then as well. So
10
that's going to
seconds
be
remaining.
popping out here once more. Not a very popular hero, right? Not something that really
5
gets
seconds
around, but
remaining.
this hero's very different than he was a couple of years ago because he suddenly has a laning presence, like out of nowhere.
All
Like
right.
the fact that he has the second most base damage is so odd now. Like those muscles need to be way bigger on his arms. There's no way that's realistic. Like this guy should look like Fly,
Oh,
But
yeah.
This guy, how does this guy hit so hard? Doesn't make any sense to me. But either way, he is still pretty strong in the laning phase. But his older position of being a tower destroyer still remains.
And that's the strength. And also the fact that Hex has gotten buffed repeatedly.
True.
And you've got these talents now also, which I don't think we've actually seen the Hex cooldown talent all that often. But it's cool if they wanted to do it. Potentially you can get like the forever stun onto somebody, and it's not that hard to do it anymore. But regardless, the more likely place that we're going to be seeing this guy is as a tower pusher and then an initiator
10
when he gets a blink
seconds
dagger,
remaining.
if that's the way that they want to play him. As we talked
5
about that, it's going to be a
seconds
Storm
remaining.
Spirit ban, considering Pain don't really have the greatest disable out of their first couple of picks. And something we talked about in the last game is Ursa being this very mobile hero as far as where you lane him.
Yeah, they used the Storm Spirit in the previous match as well. So just kind of taking care of some of these heroes that they've seen Newbee have success with. This is, maybe a newer era of Dota, right? Like Newbee were even playing the Pango in their last game too.
Oh.
So this whole idea of like that's a big hero for Pain. It was still in the pool, so Newbee are going to ban it themselves just because Pain have the first pick into the next phase, and I'm pretty sure they would have taken it. So that's certainly a fair ban by them. And if you don't know what teams have been up to all too much, maybe Payne and Newbee haven't been scrimming too much versus each other. That's when you just start looking at these games they played earlier, like, yeah, okay, just ban that. That could be good here. Just ban that.
Well, and that's why you need to have a flexible hero pool, particularly at TI. I feel like the thing that I've noticed from a lot of these teams that have won are the ability to do a lot of different things. And in the past, that has been a weakness of Newbee. So I want to see what they come up with here, since the heroes they were playing earlier are going to be banned out this time around.
Yeah, now in terms of our big heroes so far at TI, still left in the pool, I guess we saw a couple Wyverns. I feel like Wyvern's still pretty strong, and it's a Payne hero, so it's a possibility. It is maybe not the best pairing with a Vengeful Spirit, but they've also done like Wyvern and CM together, so I wouldn't be too shocked to see that come out. Just depends on what else is good, and then the Pugna is the other big hero, so it will be taken. It lanes decently well against Ench just because like a lot of magic advantage. You can use the Decrep versus her Impetus too. Yeah, kind of handy.
Yeah, you can't enchant yourself though.
Aha!
So that's the way you do it. You decrep her.
Got her. Dark Willow is still in there, right? That's probably going to be if this next hero is bad against Dark Willow, I could see Payne going for that.
5 seconds.
So what is it that's so strong about that hero? What makes it a good hero in this particular game?
I think she fits the dual lanes pretty well. She has really annoying skills. Downsides is she does have very long cooldowns, especially when they're all at level 1. So when you're level 3, if you go this like 1-1-1 build, or even you just go like, 2 in any of them, because we see so much variability with that hero, but usually be like maybe like 1-2 or something. The cooldowns are still pretty long, so depending on your lane, that can be a bit of a rough matchup.
And another Nyx. So the other team that we saw play Nyx was Serenity, if I'm not mistaken. And they did win one of their games against Secret when they were playing it. The second one, I believe, they lost. But Nyx, really good hero against Pugna. Yeah,
I think this hero is very undervalued. I would definitely consider him being on the rise in terms of picks. He, maybe I just play it because of the hero voice lines, because you can just spam Nyx, Nyx, Nyx. I mean, what a creative hero to like grind your way in Dota Plus. Maybe that's why I went for it, but he's very good against the 2 annoying green heroes right now, and the Necrophos and the Pugna. So picking him up here makes sense. And he also takes away some of those combo heroes. Like Earthshaker was another hero that looked pretty good here, because we've been seeing this Pugna and Earthshaker together a lot, and Nyx, pretty good against that hero too, stopping him from consistently comboing up on you.
Yeah, and I think that just in general, it's really good when you have a lot of the sort of damage that just can get thrown out there. Like a Vengeful Spirit, if you're trying to push a wave, maybe you can hit a Spike Carapace on a Wave of Terror, or on Pugna whenever he's Nether Blasting the tower. Yep. We've already talked about that. And it fits also the play style of having a Shadow Shaman, because it's the hero that either A, wants to try and make use of space that the Nyx is creating by pushing a tower, or B, help him find kills.
Yeah, you can like backstab into plays, and we're going to have a Magnus now.
Ooh.
And that's going to be in combination with an Ursa. So that's pretty exciting.
So this reminds me of the old VP. They used to do this occasionally, where they would run like an Ursa, sometimes mid lane, where they would have no one playing it. And then you actually scale as this hero, something that Ursa doesn't tend to do because you can farm so much faster.
Yeah, and the last time they did this, it was at the Summit. It was versus Optic, though, and they did lose. They went with the Tavo on the Magnus. And again, it's one of these similar situations where Tavo's heroes just get banned out, or they don't look too good that game. So no Pango for him in that one, even though it was there. They just went for the Magnus like straight up in the first phase. So curious to see how this goes for them.
Yeah, it looks like that was also against an Enchantress as well.
Yeah.
So maybe that's just their answer in general to trying to deal with an Enchantress is, get her next to somebody and then cleave that person.
It just might work.
Yeah.
It's crazy enough. They have a little bit of flexibility coming in this last pick for them, too, just because the Pugna could be a support. So they have some options if they want to make this a Pugna core, Pugna support. Depends on like how many Empower targets they need, what heroes are picked up by Newbee. But the hero that will be picked up is the ever-present, always irritating Spectre. She has been so good over the past like 3 or 4 months, I feel like.
Every time I see Spectre picked, I feel a little bit of pain for the other team.
Yeah.
Like it hurts a little bit inside, because you can feel, I mean, maybe it's also me having my, thoughts colored by pub games, but you always have in the back of your mind, this hero could take over the game. This hero could kill us all. We're not going to be able to blink initiate with Magnus because there's going to be a haunt that starts it all off with Radiance, and they're going to have probably a vision advantage because they got Nyx Assassin. Scary, scary draft from Newbee so far.
Yeah, the question is, like, how do you pressure into the Spectre and slow it down? Because if you commit in for a Magnus, and he's just, I don't know, he's not really a bully in lane. You know, he's just not that scary. He can survive, and he can kind of punch a little bit with Empower, but he can't take that many hits. He doesn't have, like, some incredible HP regen or the greatest defensive options if there's any sort of decent supporting cast with the Spectre. So I think they just kind of see that there's a weak lane presence right now from Pain, and they want to try and force maybe this Pugna to come down, or they're going to have to pick into something kind of crazy, like an Undying or something. You know, someone who can just like really bully into the Spectre.
Yeah. 5 seconds and that type of a hero is also something that, yeah, you can bully it early, but what do you do super late game against it? And I think Undying is a great hero against Spectre, but if it gets late enough, it doesn't solve that problem. So we'll see. Huskar is going to be banned out. That would have been a fabulous pick, but no such luck. Is Brood a thing here?
They don't have the best heroes up against it. Yeah, it is definitely possible. And it might even be in their head now with the Huskar ban, because whenever I think of Huskar, exactly what you just did, right? You see this Huskar ban and you think, oh, that would have been cheesy. Hey, you know what else is cheesy? Brood. like they might have been thinking Brood, and then this happens, and Pain has the same reaction as you.
Yeah. We'll see. It's definitely a possibility. Oh,
your boy.
I got a soft spot in my heart for a Kunkka.
Well, you will be graced with his presence in this one.
SCCC?
It's looking that way.
Okay. I can dig it. Mid Kunkka is always cool, not always great, and it does actually counter out the Brood too.
Yeah, and they can kind of do whatever they want now in terms of lanes, though. That is the one downside, right? Yeah. Where, like, Pain could send Ursa or Pugna or Magnus mid. Like, Weehaw has a great Magnus. If they want to give this to him and go back to something else for Tavo, that could be possible. Like the Enigma, then you're playing Enigma into Nyx, but there is no BKB cancel.
How good of a matchup is that? I feel like Ursa would destroy Kunkka, but Magnus might be more even.
It would be more even, but it's like a lot of free farm for a Magnus, I think. I don't think that you get forced out too easily. So that would be a lot of the benefits, right?
Yeah. And then maybe pick the Pugna down there to try and pressure the Spectre. But they're going to take a Terrorblade. That is a great hero against Spectre.
Pretty much classic HFN hero. And it looks like it'll just be the assumed Weehaw on the Ursa and Tavo on the Magnus. So sticking with what's worked, sticking with the strats they've had before, and King RD on the Pugna here for the support.
Look at that Weehaw set. What in the heck is happening there? He's
mixing it up, dude. He's got a little bit of Alpine Ursa on the head, and then he's just swagging everywhere else.
Look at the claws with the little razor things. He's like Wolverine's half-bear brother that just wants to kill everybody.
Just seems a little excessive.
Right?
I mean, why do you need claws on claws? Like, how do you use the claws underneath with those claws? I don't think you can.
I think the claws on top are for backhands.
Ah, yeah, they should be turned the other way.
There you go.
Now we got strats. Okay, now you're thinking.
The next level play.
I think that's what happens when he gets cleave. Okay. They just get turned around, and that's how he hits it all.
Fair enough.
Ah, there's Pain. They're back now. Now they're paying attention. They found the chat wheel again. Newbies draft, a lot of space makers. You look at these 4 heroes, aside from the Spectre, they're going to be all over the place. Got Kunkka. He wants to make some kills. Inch making plays.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as the cheers are coming out from the players themselves this time around, we are going into game number 1, Pain Gaming versus Newbee. Newbee already looking pretty decent in their group stage run. Pain looking to start off hot. See if they can make it happen. And again, to me, I'm feeling about the sort of inevitability of Spectre coming online, and also the fact that if SCCC starts to make rotations, then we're going to have the wonderful HFN maybe in some trouble there as well. Because I feel like Kunkka does quite well against Terrorblade.
I hope we don't have to split our fee with like these other casters, you know what I mean? Because I feel like they're going to be casting just as much as us this game.
That's true.
You know, we got to send some payment their way or something.
Oh, maybe.
The mutes might have to come out.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, you know, the people love to hear the whole chat.
I know. Mode AMG. All right, you said it, Weehaw. Get him.
Oh, my God. All right. What's the point? What's the point where we start to think about muting them? I don't know what it is, but we're getting there rapidly. As we're going to have a smoke out towards mid lane, try and get down some of these wards by King RD. Man, 387. No movement speed items once he's smoked. It's a fast guy. We also do have Mugi heading up towards top. Just a heck of a lot of regen. There is nobody else there in his lane as of yet. But, yeah, we'll see. Ward down. This one blocks out the camp. And it looks like bottom lane as well. It is SCCC set up with 9 tangos in a salve.
30 seconds to battle.
Pressure is real.
They're sending down they're saying KP mid.
Got a little bit of a mid Enche versus the Ursa. Okay. Interesting. I don't know if this has been read right now by the Radiant side, if they know this is happening, but well, we'll have to see where everyone winds up going.
This is a terrible lane for HFN. You might run into some issues with the all of the sort of long cooldown that comes out from Tidebringer, but yeah, this could be really tough for them.
And in the top lane, though, this like idea of the support Pugna, I do like this being turned into support just because it can keep pressuring and keep blasting onto the Spectre. Certainly makes it a little bit irritating. I think this whole idea of the tri-lane down bottom was just try and get a level 1 kill, and it didn't work out, so they'll just rotate. Yeah.
Okay.
And Nyx will come up top. So Nyx is an interesting hero. He can be played in this position 4 or position 5 just because of his ridiculous HP regen. Like, he bought 2 mangoes, and now he's sitting at 6.4. He's going to buy just the mana burn level 1. This is the what I call the anti-nature's prophet play, but I guess it works out against the Pugna too. Just like completely negate what he can do. And Tavo even giving him the early empower to try and boost his harassment capabilities.
Really cool stuff there. Early use as well of the glyphs just to try and pressure this, and we're seeing that KP is going to kind of have his way through Weehaw through the first couple of levels. And as we mentioned, this is not necessarily a counter anymore, as you can just purge off the overpower.
Man, he is just getting punched out of this lane. Has the salve up, and he's playing a little close here. If KP, yeah, he really wanted to die. That was really nice movement from Weehaw. He's trying to bait him into the tower, and he ends up eating a right click just to try and cancel a salve.
Nice. And meanwhile, it feels like each of these lanes could potentially have kill potential, depending upon how the movement goes. Is SC able to get a nice little bit of denying going on here as well, toggling the Tidebringer. And HFN going to need to come up with some answers, because this is a lot of harassment.
Yeah, similarly for Weehaw too, it's just non-stop, and if they trade, then KP just heals, and he has a ward too, so he's just constantly poking on top of Weehaw, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Very frustrating, I'm sure.
And you think about it, like, every couple of last hits he gets is just negated by the salve, right? Because like he just keeps salving up, and he just keep buying salves.
Right. And that's also using the courier. His team can't really make use of it either, as it is going to be another one of those salves coming out. But yeah, and also down bottom, you're going to probably be winning the regen war as well, as SC still has 6 tangos in the bank and only 2 tangos for both of these heroes on Pain. Newbee putting the hurt on him early. Even though it is Pain leading in the CS right now, this could change around depending on the next couple of minutes work out.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of kill potential either. They need some big meta play, and that can only happen so often, right? So in between every meta, they're just not worried about anything.
Right. Weehaw being bullied out by the DD now on the Enchantress. He's just going to keep on poking him in the eye. And top lane, King RD just going to continue to dance around. He doesn't have a ton of mana, and that's the strength of Kaka, as you mentioned before. Just gain more and more points. We'll see if he puts more points in the mana bar, if he just keeps it
I don't think
I'll
have to, honestly. Just want to leave it at 1. Got to focus on that Carapace.
So 3 minutes in, not a whole lot to talk about. It is starting to catch back up again for Newbee as the regen wars are being played out, and they actually ferry out 2 more stacks of tankos for HFN. So in spite of the decent CS, a lot of that's spent on regen.
Yeah, and now there's a bottle coming for Weehaw too, so he's just going to try and play with the wave, try and shove it into the tower and go for runes. And basically the only thing he can try and do in this lane. Yeah. KP just keeps poking him. Like, if he wants to use that bottle, he's going to have to go back under his tower.
Yeah. They managed to catch that one right at the end, as they did find a kill there. Mango was used for the Nether Blast, and they find the kill on Kaka. Quick tip.
Only 1 tip? I thought Pain were more coordinated. I thought they went with the quintuple tip.
You can only do so many in a game, right?
Yeah, I know, but the 5-man first blood, it's like a staple.
That's fair enough.
I think they're losing, you know, focus or something here. Something's up with the squad, clearly.
Oh God, HFN needs to be so careful again. Like a Tidebringer here in a Torrent, he could potentially go down. Look at the damage that comes out as he is down very low. They throw out the Torrent. It is going to connect, and they manage to kill off HFN. This Terrorblade is not having a good time.
Really nice stuff there. And now SCCC also bullying in on the Duster.
Yeah.
But mid lane, Weehaw did manage to get the top rune, thankfully. As if he's not getting those runes, this lane's that's a dead investment if he doesn't get that rune. So he was lucky on the 50-50, and he used another salve. And he's going to have some boots coming in, though.
When Terrorblade died, he also bought himself another stack of tangos. So there's been so much gold spent on consumables early on here.
Yeah, and that shows, too, because like they have so many last hits, but the net worth lead is on the side of Newbee.
Yeah. Well, Bottle is also done for Tavo, so he can try and take away these runes whenever possible, as King RD is going to come back up this way. We'll see if they fight for him. And so far, Enchantress just having herself a great old time. HFN able to pick up one for
Kaka's on the run up top here. He's trying to get that second rune. He already stole the first one, but I don't think he's getting the second.
Oh, stick charges? All right, he just hits another mana burn, and we'll accept his fate. Weehaw have to run out and farm up Ancients after he pushes out the wave.
Yeah, it is one of the benefits of this hero, though. You know, there's not too many mid heroes these days that can really focus on Ancients.
Yeah.
Basically him and TA.
SCC has 2 points now into Tidebringer. The next one is where it starts to get really scary, getting that cooldown down to 7 seconds and the added bonus damage. You can just spam out the waves so quickly. As Mugi there contesting for the pull that went on. And Tavo's going to get a wave under his tower as well. So by and large, still pretty good, I would say. Is there a team that you feel like inherently is sort of happier with the way the laning stage has gone?
Not really. I think it goes both ways, because like when I look at Pain, I worry about a Magnus and a Terrorblade, and I feel like Terrorblade's doing pretty well, honestly. Even though he has died once, he still has 30 last hits. It's okay. At Magnus, if you don't get off to a good start, it's a lot like Axe. You need so many items to be a functional hero. You know, right. You want that Arcanes, you want that Blink Dagger. You really don't want to be a poor Magnus. So it's really important that these two heroes get off to a good start. And at the same time, in the Dire, they have a Spectre. So I don't think either team, like both teams are kind of getting what they want right now. So I think it's all right. It's more so going to come down to who can make the first plays out of the laning phase.
Fair enough. Well, and we do have this catapult wave coming in. KP did not have enchant up to take over the other catapult, so instead they're going to just keep the pressure on, though. And really, if you're Weehaw, it's hard to contest this. A tier 1 tower mid taking it. It's about 7 minutes. This is what Enchantress does.
Yeah, he just forced completely back.
Oh my
no
god.
TPs. Yeah, that is a lot of damage.
Well, there's not really that much getting done on the other side. They're pressuring the tier 1 tower towards the top. Comes in, gets the deny. Weehaw enraged, but KP also a little bit upset about the situation. Enraged does not wear off for that impetus hits.
So and they're going to kill him the Venge too. But TV looks like he'll be fine. So what happened was that Weehaw put on his overpower before coming out of the fog. So the second the KP saw him, he instantly enchanted him. But that meant that he wasn't there to go for the last hit. Nice play. You know, catch 22 there for KP.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it is still a tower taken, though, so the map control, you just look at KP. He's just continuing to just put the beating on Ursa.
Yeah, this is some real team right now. Venge shows up.
Oh, God. This is the type of thing and the reason why we say that Ursa does not counter Enchantress anymore.
All right, so now the question is, where do you want to move as the Ench? Do you want to try and draw attention mid? Do you just want to like keep focusing Weehaw and limit his farm, or should she be rotating up top? Those are the kind of questions that they need to figure out for Pain. How much can they abuse right now with this hero, and where's the best place for it? Because he keeps refreshing this catapult, which says to me that he wants to go focus somewhere else.
Right. Yeah, it's a good thing to have if you can keep that pressure on. We did also see a rotation here by HFN to the top lane. So both him and Magnus up here in the area, wanting to keep the pressure on this tower, see if they can secure tier 1 of their own. As Faith is just prowling through the jungle. It feels like they do very much just own a huge portion of the map, and Pain are forced to sort of just fight for the scraps as SCCC is going to start taking the tier 1 tower bottom.
Yeah, but HFN getting this up top without having meta is pretty impressive.
Yeah. If they could leverage that into killing SCCC, this would also be tremendous, but a hard thing to get done as they cut through the creep wave, and then Tavo will finish it off. So a good dodge. This gives Terrorblade a little bit of love, some time for himself, and that's what he needs. Kaka moving in. Just going to throw out a mana burn and back out. And you just have to commit so many heroes mid to try and deal with the push from KP that they're not really able to do all that much around the rest of the map.
Yeah, and it's really slowing down Weehaw too, because every time he shows himself, he's just getting hit by an impetus and losing, a quarter of whatever HP he has.
Yeah. Looking at these levels, KP is just a monster. Level 9 right now. They're thinking about a dive. They go for the haunt, find him immediately. They have the boat as well. Tabo stunned and going to be killed as Duster also going to be chased down here. They have themselves an X. They're going to have another Torrent in a second if they want to go for it, but no fuss, no muss. They find the kill.
And this is really bad news. In fact, they're not rotating Ench. And, this is fine. If Ench is able to stay mid and you're able to win these fights on the side lanes and secure towers, then they're in a lot of trouble on the side of Pain because they don't have anyone who can respond.
Yeah.
And this Magnus is being forced to go places he doesn't want to. He doesn't really want to be a dead stop hero that camps a real poor lane to be in. He needs farm.
Yeah.
But they have an Ursa that needs farm.
Yeah, this game is feeling tougher and tougher. Kunkka is going to go for the X-play to bring him back into lane. That should allow them to pressure this tower. And there's the strength of Kunkka and why it's such a strong hero in the meta nowadays. You can just go right back in for another round.
Yeah, and Kaka now has the tome here too. So he's going to have level 6, and he can combo with KP and probably set up some pretty easy kills on all these junglers. Like, they basically know that either Mag or Ursa is pretty much guaranteed to be jungling if they're not on the wave.
SC, 4 points in Tidebringer. And Mookie, just going to give that last hit to the Cardi.
Totally intentional.
Yeah. Terra goes out, but nothing really doing there. And yeah, this is the type of situation where you'd feel like it's relatively even, and it kind of is. I think that in this game, it hurts to lose those towers early, but at the same time, they've been able to make a few inroads. They take the tier 1 top. Like, really, the mid tower is the sort of the Ench thing.
Newbee just made a really obvious play, though. Nyx is sitting up top by the tower, and then Spectre shows up. Nyx leaves, TP's mid on top of a creep, and then runs to the right. Like, they're obviously smoking from there. It's pretty clear, and I think Pain have read that as well. So that was a pretty greedy play, I would say, from Newbee, to assume that a team's not going to notice something like that. And they responded appropriately here. As you can see, they just had, like, sentry wards ready. Everyone was prepped for a fight. And however, HFN, he's not ready. He thinks he's dodging all of the pressure by being up here, but they move very fast.
And this is always the problem with Terrorblade. Anyways, he does get the Sunder off. Not bad. But I don't think that that's going to be enough to save his life. Getting the Sunder, forcing down the Kunkka. At the end of the day, it's just not enough. Terrorblade just cannot deal with that hero.
All right, 2 catapults and snakes. They're like, maybe. I don't know. What do you think? Looks like they're going to head on back. Not going to commit too hard for it yet.
Yeah. Enchantress taking only the 1 point in heal, wanting to get more in enchant and keep the pressure on.
Honestly, like, I'd almost rather my Terrorblade died versus my Magnus and my Ursa. Because I feel like my Magnus and Ursa need items to make something happen for our team in this mid game. Like, what good is a Terrorblade with items with these 2 heroes if they don't have these items? Like, they have the Blink Dagger now.
Yeah.
And Empowered Ursa is going in. The bear. Hex.
Be careful. They're all in the area, though. They're able to catch him. The jump back. The RPs are going to come out. Tavo not quite in position. And so much damage coming out as well from the Spectre. Pain need to run because they are in a hell of a lot of trouble. The Haunt, it follows it all up, and they're trying to chase these heroes down. They kill off one. They're going to kill off another King RD. He does manage to fall. 3 dead as KP is going to finish off another triple kill for the Enchantress.
I believe that was one of the deadly sins of the greed. Not taking the RP. He didn't have it. He got level 8 right at the end of the fight. Didn't have time to skill it. It wasn't even a good spot to use it. Not having the RP absolutely killed them there. Because he's trying to farm faster, and he's like, well, we don't want to fight, so why would I have RP? But they definitely needed it there if they had any hope of winning that one. I don't even know if it would have turned it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But, you think about, like, why should I have RP if I don't have Blink? And that's a fair assumption. But they found themselves a fight that could have went a lot better for them.
Yeah. Well, and again, there's so many instances. Dota's a crazy game where that would have been the right play, and they end up paying the price for it. The bigger thing, too, is maybe just a miscommunication of everybody saying, all right, we got to go in right there, as Duster is going to go for the swap. The boat is going to connect, though. King RD dead yet again. They're looking for something, but they won't find it. Man. I will say, I don't think that they... Normally when you look at an Ursa draft, you think they need to get stuff done right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's necessarily as much the case since they have this in power and they've got the Terror Blade as well. But it would be nice.
Kaka's crazy. He's so low HP to be doing this.
They did just see him, too, as he passed by a ward.
Observer Sentry combo scouts him out. My God.
Weehaw now going to move himself down here towards the bottom. They're kind of all sticking around the same area, realizing if we are not in a position to defend each other, then they are going to take a team fight super easily and kill everybody off. Haunt back up in 60. Still a ways away from Radiance, but Mugi has had himself a nice game going for this Vanguard. And
stun mid. They're going to keep falling up here on the Weehaw.
Now he gets the Enrage. Damage mitigation, the swap out. He might have been able to tank through that one, but instead Duster is going to take a lot of damage. Drops the pain on the ground before he goes down.
Okay, so a little bit of a bait play there with the Kunkka. Ends up surviving from the harassment of the Ursa. And the Bear is forced back and they'll get the kill.
It was a good save by the Venge, waiting until the X went off before swapping.
I love Mugi's build this game too. Like, he was able to get that fight with the Haunt, just grab a couple kills, get a lot of gold, go straight into the Vanguard. Yep. Just like, I don't want to lose any sort of fights. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have time to get my Radiance. I don't think this Radiant team's going anywhere.
Yeah.
But Ursa, he might be thinking about the Roche Pit.
That could be a way to pull themselves back into this a little bit, too. It's the type of play that is maybe a little bit, maybe it's a little bit too desperate. And maybe wait until like Haunt is down or something, and then you can go for it. But they do also have the Blink Dagger available on 2 of their heroes now. And this is the type of moment where, you know, a game can change around just like that. All you need is one solid RP. You're suddenly right back in it, even though it's 2-11.
They're going to go for a smoke play in a minute here. So they've just brought one out to the Pugna. Maybe going to try and de-ward a little bit. And he will use the Invis Room first. He's going to opt in towards that. Dire do have a sentry there.
Yep.
Oh, they're going to see him. Oh, man. Good thing he did not walk up those steps.
That was very close. They also have a catapult.
And a Shadow Blade on Kunkka. But
King RD is in vision.
There.
They see him. They see these guys with this
They're
ward.
just running.
Oh, no. The chase down, SCCC looking for the initiation. He doesn't quite find it. He wants to throw out the torrent. The Impale barely connects there right on the end.
Okay.
And they'll kill off King RD.
And Weehaw doesn't really see a moment. There's not a real threat of Roche, I don't think, here. There's no medallion or anything. I don't think it would be worth using the snakes. They're just going to sit the catapult in there. Keep an eye on it. How many catapults these guys have? There's a third one.
Yeah, just keep them alive, man. That's what they're about. Throw the Radiant Siege works back at them. HFN, this is his life. Just push out the side lanes, stay alive whenever possible. Get whatever split push in you can. X, making sure that KP is fine, I guess. Just trolling him, possibly. Who knows? But 2-12, and this net worth lead is continuing to expand right now for Newbee. As you can see, sitting at about 4,000.
Yeah, and this is all before the Radiance comes out here for the Spectre, which that'll get accelerated. They're holding on and keeping it close only because of the Empower and the Ursa. It's been doing a lot of work for Weehaw. They smoke up. They throw down a sentry after, but it's okay. There was no ward.
Oh, and Nyx immediately breaks it.
Yeah.
Kaka, what a player.
No dust ready on a smoke against an Invis hero. Oh, they did have dust, actually, just on King RD. And either just didn't think he was in range, probably.
Yeah. Well, that, I mean, it felt like it was pretty well telegraphed that that's what was going to happen. But on top of that, also, they managed to react well to it. Kaka moving into position to break the smoke and then get out immediately afterwards. That one hurt.
Where it's the one chat wheel, that's it.
Yeah.
Newbee, that was the perfect time to clap back.
That's true.
Gotta up their chat wheel game. These guys, you know, they're too focused.
And that's the other thing too, is it's that moment where you feel like we need a kill. We need to get something on the board, and then we can go into Roche. But the problem is that they do it on Illusion, and then they're like, all right, we're going to go into Roche anyways. They realize they can't do this.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
That's fair.
He's not wrong.
Well, 2-12, 5,000 net worth lead. And 70 seconds before they're going to have RP up and ready again. They can maybe go here onto Mugi if they can set it up perfectly. They manage to find a bash. The skewer back in as well. The Vanguard not able to keep him alive against that damage.
Nice. Okay. I do like this build from Weehawk too. Like the fact he just went straight for that basher like that, getting them a way to fight back into this game. They do have the single target focus to take down a big giant hero like that Spectre. It's just very difficult when they're in an engagement 5v5 sort of a deal. But side pick-offs like that, well executed. Solid job by Pain to keep themselves in it. And you can see already, that's like 1K out of the way, but they're going to go in the pit.
There's a creep in there. They know that this is happening. There's no RP for 40 more seconds, but they could potentially still make this happen as they're going to go for the shrine together. If they want to contest this, they need to go now, but it doesn't look like they want to. Too scary.
Yeah, don't think they have any real hope at it.
Well, now Newbee able to take themselves an Aegis, and they can probably send it over to Mugi as well, as he has a little while before anybody from Pain Gaming can get into position, although they're just going to hand it over to KP. Dragonlance soon to be online for the Enchantress. She re-enchants one of her catapults.
So I guess now KP can just boldly lead smokes, try and use this Aegis, try and maybe close out one more tier 2. I don't think they really care about being too aggressive right now because they're just waiting on the Radiance. So look how fanned out they are. This could be a problem, but they've just scouted out so much with the Kaka. I guess they just don't mind.
Yeah.
And they're essentially funneling the side of Pain into the side shop, and they will escape.
Yeah. Good play by Pain to escape that one. Newbee has done a really good job this game of sort of maintaining their dominance of the map, and it's only through the investment in all of these sentry wards that's been able to sort of get Pain some semblance of control. But even that isn't fully going on as they see this Terrorblade right here underneath the Ancients, and well, you got to be careful. Haunt rotation in with the Radiance online soon. Could spell disaster.
Still double catapults for KP in that bottom lane.
Hey, he's doing it.
So that's enough to put a push on here. A little bit of pressure. And what hero do you send down here right now? Like, if we're looking for the Radiant Vision, they see a Xiao Sham in the mid lane. And that's it. Like, there's no one top when the wave is hitting the tower. So they're just not sure what to do. They don't want to send anyone bottom, when realistically, it's just a Kunkka. Yeah. And that's going to get the entire tower for free. And look at Kaka scouting this out right now. There's no sentry.
Oh, the jump away. Really quick reactions there. Duster is going to have to take one for the team, it looks like, though. He's taunting into his grave. But they somehow managed to realize that that was coming their direction and then get out.
And Faith's on the hunt here. He's got the smoke for the speed. It works out.
Into him. He knew that he was going to be heading over there to check the bounty runes, and they find Tavo. The Impale comes through, and Magnus dead again.
Very well read there by Faith.
Wow. 3-14, 6,000 net worth lead. Newbee came to play today. I
will say, you know, the earlier game with IG, and it was like they're so far behind, they have no sort of comeback hero. There is a comeback hero this game. Not only is it because of the RP, but just an empowered Ursa like that can actually clean up a team fight pretty much no matter who you are, you know?
Yeah.
If he gets that cleave going on top of everyone, all that attack speed, all that damage, you still have a chance in these engagements. It's not going to be easy to do, but at least there is hope like that. And a lot of their investment on the side of the Dire is into Mugi.
Right.
They're very rich on someone like SCCC, but he's not a sustained damage hero. He's kind of this like one-shot crit, make a lot of space during the mid-game sort of a style. And if you can just Ursa down that Spectre, the fights get very difficult for Newbee.
Particularly when you talk about the heroes that are there too with the Terrorblade. Like, this is a hero that all he needs really is levels and getting towards those later talents. Granted, level 20 is a long way away, but Reflection against the Spectre, I mean, that Spectre could potentially kill the whole rest of his team.
Oh, and Pugna down bottom tries to TP out.
They realize it and immediately going to jump out. They will kill him off as Pugna goes down, but on the other side, the Mag was able to escape, or rather the Venge.
Dire's middle tower.
So Haunt down?
Haunt down. Got him. 3-15. The dream is still alive here. 7 more kills to go for Newbee.
Oh.
Everything will be realized.
7,000 gold lead. And KP getting towards that Aeon disc as well. On top of an Aegis. Still have about a minute left on that before it is going to be reclaimed. They do scout out SCCC. They know that he's here, I think. And BKB comes out immediately. They turn onto him, trying to fight so much damage. RP onto 2. Can they kill him off in time? They do indeed. KP down for the count for 1 at least. Now, can they find this a second round? Duster does have the swap available. They jump forward, going to block the path, and Weeha ends the killing spree. Life for Pain Gaming.
Yeah, that's a pretty greedy play. I mean, you're trying to build up into your crit as this Kunkka, and you're just going all aggressive when there's no haunt. There's just not a lot of benefits there, and a lot of risks. I think they maybe felt pressure to just try and use this Aegis, but clearly it didn't work out too well.
Oh, they're anticipating somebody going for these bounty runes here, and they do find Faith still in the area. He's going to be hexed. They move back in again. They do have Spectre in the area. Radiance is finished, but cannot go into this fight as they're pressuring forward for more, taking a tier 2 tower. Pain Gaming starting to make this happen.
Wow, only a 2K lead now. Comeback is real. All it takes is one RP, but Mugi will quickly grab another grab onto King RD.
Yeah. So Aegis is gone now. 2,000 net worth lead for Newbee when it was looking a heck of a lot worse just a couple of minutes ago. And more importantly, the experience also on these heroes, like we were talking about Terrorblade. It's only 4 away now from that reflection.
Pain need to be very careful not to get too far ahead of themselves, though. They still have like 9-second BKB on the Terrorblade, so he still is very strong. But the next fight, like with this whole full Radiance going, and if it's like a 5-man engagement where there's all these illusions, it can still be very devastating. Look how cool they're playing right now. Pain have a sentry. They saw Kaka there.
Yeah, they see him still. There's going to be the X. They have the Torrent. Can go for more if they want. A ward trap fully in, and the BKB runaway from Rehad. Realizes, oh, blink away just barely in time. That should get him out.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Spectre wants to commit for any further haunts or anything onto the Magnus, so. Hey, expensive for a kill on Avenge. Yeah, haunt down, Snake's down too, which makes it unlikely there's any sort of a high ground push, even though that's pretty unlikely we'll see one without an Aegis, but.
Well, and I guess depending upon the time too, it looks like they will have those abilities most likely back up before Roche is there for the respawn, unless it's like the absolute smallest possible.
SCCC has made an interesting adjustment here. He started building towards that crit. He already had the Blades of Attack, and he just said, you know what, I really need a Halberd.
Huh.
I need some way to deal with this Ursa. Looks like that's going to be the solution. Obviously, it's very good against Terrorblade too.
Yeah.
If they can get it before the BKB. So, yeah. I mean, it's not a whole lot wasted, right, on the Blades, and you're going to use it later, either way.
This is what was it Nisha did on his Kunkka for a while. He really enjoyed the Halberd. Great item for its stats and active use. And it's something, too, where, like, Kunkka doesn't have a lot of great answers if somebody is just right on top of you. You can't, like, wait for the Torrent to hit after you throw it.
Yeah, a little bit of a space maker kind of a deal. He has to keep the right spacing for himself, rather.
Yeah. Downside is that Weeha, well, he did have an Abyssal queued up, but it looks like now he's going for the Ags.
Oh, jeez, we're in the same situation here once again. We're in the same spot with no sentry. This time, oh, actually, no, yeah, they don't have a sentry. But they brought one out now, and now they'll pop it, and they'll see the one in the tree, so there we're good.
Tier 2 tower falls yet again. Pain Gaming finding a life for themselves. They jump back. They RP SCCC, but the Impale onto 3. Can he get out of there? The Shadow Blade away. They still manage to get him, and the swap back from Duster finds the kill. The tip is out as well as Pain Gaming sieging high ground. There's no buyback now. This freight train of Pain Gaming walking forward and taking down a tier 3 tower. What the heck are you going to do against this? The outspam isn't there. KP walks forward. The BKB is out. He might go down. He doesn't quite get there in time. They instead decide to turn on to KP. Mugi walking forward, hoping to stop this, but the damage is there. The buyback from the Nyx Assassin. They almost take down the freaking barracks, but now they need to back out. KP is doing a ton of damage. And Mugi walking too far forward. What have you done? They're able to find him. The Impale is under nobody. They pull back in again. He's gone. 60 seconds with no buyback either.
Mugi, he almost had Haunt. He was like seconds away.
They take down Faith. They take down them all. And the chat wheel spam doesn't do justice to how big of a change that was for Pain Gaming.
They did drive them back. There is a slight win for Newbee in that sense, because it looked like they were going to lose Rax, and I think that's what made them feel so pressured. Is that they don't want to go Rax in this scenario. You know, can't get that far behind, so they felt threatened to throw Mugi out there. And he did a lot of damage. In fact, they almost did the same amount of damage on both sides, but they didn't close out any of those kills on those Radiant heroes.
Man. 2,000 net worth. Look at the change. It's been like a 10,000 net worth swing over the past couple of minutes.
Tavo made some great plays there, too. Just going for solo RPs on incredibly key heroes. Like, how do they go high ground if S-Triple-C's alive? Right. They basically don't, right? Incredibly difficult to do. So just picking him off right off the bat.
Well, and that's that moment, too, where if you're Newbee, you feel safe because Kaka's out there. He's giving vision. You see that the Magnus is in the area. They tried to get the, the Spike Carapace off of the cleave.
Yeah.
But they just go back for the hero that's behind him.
Yeah. That was like a 1 pixel difference, too, where that might have been a set up in towards for the Kunkka to start calming down on top of the Magnus. And could have started a fight on Newbee's turn instead. But Newbee have scouted out the pit. They have the Satyr inside. So chilling with Roche. Acting all buddy-buddy, like, hey, man, how's it going? When really he's just scouting out for his team to come and kill him, which is a pretty rude and backstabby thing to do.
Unbelievable.
But, I mean, he is a Satyr Tormentor, so I feel like that's probably the kind of stuff he does on a day-to-day basis.
Fair enough. Ursa comes in, steals the rune before the deny is there. And the scan also will hit onto Pain Gaming. But, yeah, you look at this situation and how the game has changed. I mean, there are people that are starting to catch back up. Ursa is above the Spectre now, and we're getting closer and closer to that Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, that is pretty hard to believe. Very well done so far from Pain Gaming.
Not to mention the Terrorblade. Kaka walks forward. They do have a Sentry Ward, but it's... Actually, no, that's the Newbee Sentry Ward. Where's the Sentry Wards for Pain? I don't see any except for this one right over here.
There's a couple on the high ground for now.
There it is.
There's one drop down. And so they'll begin Roche. Not a lot invested. This is really risky when it's like just your Ursa inside, and if he gets bashed up, so he's going to start. He was waiting to see if they would start a fight first.
Right. HFN is nearby too. They still have Haunt available. Spectre is going to TP into the shrine now.
This doesn't look that good. Okay, they're going to start tanking with the Terrorblade instead. That allows Ursa to finish it faster. And that's a key thing, because that just gets it in time.
They just get the Roche. There's no Haunt, there's no nothing. And now, walking forward, they pull back in Kaka. They're able to find him. They do get a nice Hex, though, able to isolate one and start to take down his Ursa. But the swap out, he's living the Enrage. It's not going to kill him off in time. SC being forced back as well. The Haunt is going to be there afterwards. He gets the Sunder under the illusion. HFN able to escape. The rest of his team is there not to back him up, though. And with that Aegis expiring, can they make anything else happen here? Weehaw can jump back in a second, but he's getting his Blink Dagger broken as well. The Reflection is out. Haunt illusion. Oh, no, they broke the Blink Dagger. Tavo not able to jump in with that RP. It would have been onto several. Weehaw ran away yet again. Barely alive. Only gets the RP onto one, but it should be enough to take down KP.
Devastating sprain on the ground there from Tavo. As again, he just needs one-man RPs. You know, this is not a game where you need the 5-man sort of a deal, especially once you're ahead. Any of these key targets, and it's looking very good for you.
And you got into that reflection talent that we were talking about before, and now being able to take down the shrines as well. They did lose the Aegis, and I think that they had to pop the cheese as well.
Yeah, that's okay. Things are looking quite good.
4,000 net worth lead. Quite good for Pain Gaming. Newbee, on the other hand, they need to find their footing again. It kind of feels like, you know, when there's a river and it's getting close to a waterfall, it starts speeding up and the play keeps going faster and faster. It feels like they're close to falling off a cliff here.
Yeah, and just not getting that Rax did hurt them quite a bit, though, because I think they do have some problems going high ground, just with the Kunkka and everything, especially when he eventually gets into this crit, which is now closer because he has this halberd. But they're going to start playing a closeout game. I believe I heard a gem somewhere. Okay, Tavo's got it. So KRT goes down again, but he doesn't have the gem. He just paid for it, so that's good.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, this is always the strength that you're going to get out of the Nyx Assassin and why this hero is such a pain.
So good versus Pugna, but it's a support, so it doesn't end up mattering all too much.
Yeah. Weehaw, maybe looking for a little bit of payback, but the Nyx is already away. Level 20 for him. Has that extra enraged duration on top of Ags.
Yeah, very strong.
Wonder if he's going to go for the status resistance. You always go Earth Shock, though, surely. Surely.
It's pretty sick.
Well, what are we sort of looking for Newbee now? Is, you know, not necessarily like a way back in, but that first step at least. What do they need to get their feet under them?
I think it's really difficult for them to create big kills with Kaka, so that's a problem for them. Like, it's basically, it has to be this sort of a setup, but look how well they're being backed up right now. Oh, he just goes in.
He missed the Tidebringer, and they are going to be able to disarm him. They find the hit, but the Impale, it's off the mark, and they're able to find the skewer. They chase back forward for more. They're taking down SC. He just evaporates there. Haunt used to no avail. And again, SCCC dead for 60 seconds. No buyback.
I know they're standing in desperate territory, but I will say if there was been one major problem for Newbee this game, it's been the haunts. Like, the haunts have consistently been used in, like, they killed a Pugna like 3 times with the haunt or something. Just like such worthless haunts that didn't really have big impacts on the game. And they didn't really have enough heroes to, like, for that to be okay, you know? They kind of need the haunt to win a team fight. And now they're using it when no one else is in position where they weren't really ready for the team fight. But the problem is they need that Kunkka, and that's why they have to go all out for it.
30 seconds, no Kunkka. They swap back in one. They find Fade, get the kill, and Pale there as well. They buy back now on the Shadow Shaman. They're trying to run in and make anything happen at all that they can. They are isolating one, taking him down, and that is going to be a dead terribly. Great pickoff with the Venge falling as well. Mugi coming online. They find themselves another. Weeha is going to die as well. Mugi, just when you'd call them out, he comes back in style, although they do lose yet another. That was Kaka dying as well. Tavo looking to maybe finish this guy off. He gets the shrine.
See, I know how to motivate.
Exactly.
Right? That's what I'm here for. Tough love. All right? The Newbee have needed tough love for the second half of this season. So someone had to finally say it. So Mugi, look at that damage. 3980. Slayed it during that team fight. Got almost 1,500 gold. KP also cleaning up with 1323. And a shift to bring Pain a little bit closer to even. But more importantly, that high ground did not go very well for them again. They still don't have a Rax.
Yeah, and they don't even have this bottom tier 3 tower. You can win team fights, but it's got to convert into something afterwards, and that's what the Newbee draft does in a lot of ways. SCCC, for defense, is coming through here while we're going to see Tavo cut some creep waves. Kind of a dangerous play, but realize you can just blink out afterwards and we'll be fine.
SCCC is also ditching on the crit stick. He had it queued up again with his blades of attack, and he's like, oh, now I need an AC.
Yeah.
This poor guy. He can't have any fun.
It is so much damage coming out from the Terrorblade. They need an answer to it.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Cleave doesn't really care about the armor at all. But nonetheless, it is a scary thing if you can't just blow somebody up there with the Ursa or the Terrorblade.
Tell you one thing, I'm not faulting Tavo for anything this game. I think Tavo's been slaying it. You know, he has kept them in this one. The core is in Weeha and HFN also doing great in terms of like they're farming across the map, but Tavo is making those really important plays. Weeha, though, he was a great initiator in that last fight too. The way he just like dove into the tower and knew that his team was going to back him up, allowing for the 2-man RP to happen. Yeah. There's a lot of good synergy happening from Pain. They got to reel it back a little bit. You got to be a little bit crazy to come back into this game, but now you got to go down a little.
Fair enough. Well, certainly what's not crazy is getting good vision of your opponents as you're heading in, but likewise Duster will be able to find the ward. And as they reload for another round of pressure here, looks like Pain are going to opt to take down the second shrine. Next Roche, 2 minutes before it's possible that it respawns. And we'll see if Pain decide to wait before that happens, before they go for a high ground push. Worth noting, Refresher Shard, pretty good with Magnus.
Yeah, I hear that's an all right one.
And looking at the levels too, something that we talked about a lot. It is the level 20s for all of Pain cores pretty much, whereas you're looking at just now hitting it on the Kunkka as well. So things are starting to, the power spikes are kind of hitting each other at least a little bit. Aeon Disc for the Enchantress as well as the Nyx.
Yeah, Kaka's at that really annoying part of the game where they still have this gem on Magnus. If they can kill Tavo, ooh.
Oh, man.
They had the Yules ready on Nyx if they really wanted to secure that, but there were so many heroes there that just would have ended up being a bad thing for them, honestly.
And I think that the gem was there also for Mag, so he saw the Nyx coming in and was prepped for it. Lane's being pushed out along the side here by Mugi. Has Haunt up, going for the Butterfly. Has it now, but wouldn't have buyback if he commits for it. We'll see if he does, and he will indeed.
Okay, bit risky. He gets picked off for sure.
Other heroes without buyback. Terrorblade still about 1,000 gold away from it, as he also has the option to go for the Butterfly this round if he wants.
Doesn't really look like an MKB game, does it? So
nah.
Butterfly's going to be very effective. And maybe you're going to have to work a little bit with that cleave if you're playing the Ursa.
All right, no buyback on either of the cores.
Okay.
The illusions get spread out. They're going to pressure through, and KP will see them.
Where are you going?
We'll enchant it now. And the smoke up immediately afterwards.
All right, Kaka permanently invis, roaming around. He's going to find Tavo, but remember, he doesn't have the gem. That would be Tavo who does, and he sees him.
They see the Nyx. They pull him back in. The Skewer there onto one. Weeha able to break the blinks with the other ones. The boat is going to go out, and the Aeon Disc actually kept him alive for the moment. There's the Force Staff keeping the Mag alive just for the moment, but the Haunt should be able to clean him up as they chase down KP, almost going to kill him up. The right clicks will secure that one, and they have lost the Vengeful Spirit, but that's it as the Sunder is out. They get the RP. It's only onto one, but it's one they needed. They catch the second one as well. There's Fate. Everybody dying. Can they kill off the Terrorblade? They will be able to get that one. Mugi being chased by his own illusion. They lose Tavo too. He's still living. Mugi able to live.
We're just down to a 1v1. Mugi's not coming back to this one.
Oh, Weeha in trouble. Oh no, he ran into the wards, and with the infinite shot, that will finish him off. Oh my god.
Oh, the courier though, it secured the gem. It's on the run. That's why you pay for the good Roche.
Oh man. And a 2,000 gold lead off of that one, showing the strength of Spectre again. You know, we talked about the Haunts before. That's the Haunt they needed.
Yeah, now we're looking pretty good here. Butterfly, I'm sure, helping out in that one. And he's going to be looking for an Abyssal Blade of his own to match up with the one that Weeha is also building in towards.
The Terrorblade illusion was almost able. It was either the it was the Terrorblade illusion because it was Reflection, not the Vengeance Sora one. But showing why this hero is just so often the object of scrutiny and just a dangerous hero to go against in the late game. That 8% dispersion talent also.
Yeah, these infinite reflections as well. These fights are just so brutal from Terrorblade though, but clearly not enough there. And we have ourselves an even game. Where do we go from here? It's basically like high ground focus. They would love to get a tier 3 from the side of Newbee because currently there's a better foothold on the pit in terms of buybacks for the side of Pain because they have their shrine. Newbee don't have that option. Very big advantage. And it makes it kind of scary to want to take that Roche fight without it.
Well, we do have a pause here as apparently King RD needs a second to sort out some of the issues. A 2,000 gold lead is all that remains at 41 minutes in. And you look at this game, we've just been treated with a lot of fabulous games so far, it feels like. And we're going to take a look at that replay now as well as the boat went out. And
yeah, one thing that happened there was that Nyx actually got skewered to the low ground, which ended up kind of saving him there because they couldn't continue the focus. As it was a great initiation from Tavo. I love the way he's able to save the RP because of that. But as you can see, the Sunder, what's cool is it goes through the Aeon Disc too. So it brought Kaka down really low and helped HFN stay in that fight a little bit longer.
We are going to hop back into the game now.
Yeah, nothing going on. Everyone's just respawned. The Roche was dead that whole time, so there was no opportunity to take it. The Dire have a creep inside here. No vision from the Radiant in the nearby area. And they scan, but
do they have an inkling?
They don't catch the fact that Pain are nearby.
This is scary. And it looks like Roche is going to fall unimpeded. They're not going to be able to get here in time. The pings are a bit too late. Kaka spots them out. Now they maybe want to take that fight. The Haunt is there as well. Everybody running as the reflections are out. But is it going to be enough damage? Looks like at least for now, Pain is just going to give up King RD. Although, do they go back in?
Kaka missed the stun off the Yules.
Haunt is down. They find themselves one. That's Faith. In spite of the Aegis Cheese Refresher, they don't care. They're chasing.
This is real bad for Newbee. They got to get out, reset. Everything's fine. All right, we're good. No chase down.
The Haunt was good to at least make sure that they were able to get away, and it was a good decision not to take that fight there by Newbee.
Yeah, it looked like they were just going to commit, though, because they got a free Yules onto Magnus. Kaka was looking good. He threw out a stun, but whiffed on it. And that just meant if they couldn't instantly kill the Mag, then there's this threat of the team fight.
Where's the Refresher Shard? Did they use it?
No, it's on Spectre's backpack.
Oh, okay.
All right, SCCC cannot die because that has been the consistent fact. Maybe he should die. I don't know. Every time he dies and they go high ground, they don't get racks. So maybe he should sacrifice himself, try and keep the pattern alive.
Oh. And this is the other thing that I think is maybe most often overlooked about the Enchantress gameplay is being able to enchant illusions and send them back at your opponents.
Yep.
And against the Terrorblade, it's really good because you only tend to send like one or two maybe to push down a side lane. If Enchantress is there, you get the automatic depush.
Yeah, a little bit of scouting potential too. Looks like they're trying to bait KP. Just like, I wonder if they're waiting in the fog to push high ground because they don't see anyone. So they don't see a single Pain hero, and their wave is pushing into the tower. So this is a, please come and kill KP. I'm just spronking around in front of my tier 3.
But
too. Yeah. Little do they know that they're actually all around the middle, just going back and getting a little bit of net worth for themselves inside of Pain.
The Aeon Disc's really been just a spectacular purchase for Newbee as well. You look at KP and also the Nyx, Sass, and Kaka, like, all of the team fight from Pain is built around that one moment. And if you can't get it, they've got the combo breakers.
SCCC forced to pick up the gem here. That's been interesting. Looks like they're trying to keep the buyback on Kaka because he has to play so aggressive.
Yeah, this is not the way that we've tended to think about SCCC. It's the second lowest out of all the cores in this game right now in terms of net worth. Oh, and again, Pain Gaming looking to play aggressive. They solo again onto Kaka, trying to break out the Aeon Disc. It doesn't actually pop there, and the second one is going to come out. The Haunt is there as well with RP already down. Can they really even take this fight? Weeha says yes, and the chase forward for more faith is actually going to get away from him. The Yule Scepter up by Kaka. The boat is going to be there, but SC taking a ton of damage. You can see Invis away yet again, and now HFN does finally get the vision onto him. They take down another as they swap away and try and chase down KP. His Aeon Disc is going to proc as well, and now the impetus shot's going out onto HFN. Can they kill him off time? KP's out of mana. He doesn't have enough to finish it off. Thunder, he has enough, but he didn't turn and throw it onto KP.
Couldn't get it in time. Man, that was an absolutely wild fight. Woo. And it will end up being a pretty big victory there, but Faith, that Glimmer, like, he just survives because the gem was forced back. Tava wasn't in the area, so Weehaw couldn't finish off the Xiao Xiao. I mean, he's limping away, like 10% HP. He comes back in, hexes the Terrorblade, and just snakes him. He's like, you know what? Fine. We'll fight if you want to fight. I thought they were in deep trouble in that one. I think SCCC escaped with, double-digit HP as well. Things were looking very poor for Newbee.
They're able to pull it back. Pain were able to sort of, again, build up a bit of a net worth late off the back of some of those bounties picked up and such, but nonetheless, this game is just on a razor's edge, and it feels like you can go either way with it. The sort of ace in the hole that you got if you're Newbee is this Refresher Haunt, and in 38 seconds, they can use both of them. That is a ton of damage.
Now, the only problem is when they're both back up, the Aegis is also expiring. There's like a 10-second window or something where they're both available, so that'll be about 30 seconds. So it looks pretty good, and this is the time that you want to be here with all 5. They don't have their Xiao Shaman, though. He has no way of getting here, and that Glimmer is pretty damn handy.
Yeah, look at the vision that they've got inside the Radiant base as well. 2 rounds of Observer Wards. Need to clear that out of there as they do take one away, but there is still one more available. X on the movies, they can pull him back in after pressuring the tower and the barracks. The low commitment siege will commence, but they do not want to buy back the Terrorblade. Back up in 5. Haunt still available. The Yule Scepter, he's staying, not quite here. Jump forward, they find one. Yule Scepter to break that up. They have the boat, they have the ship as well. They enrage it to run away. Can reinitiate here if you want to. Enrage back up in 10 seconds.
Can they chase at all? They're going to Shadow Blade on Tavo, but it doesn't look like they'll have the speed to really keep up with them. Radiant Vision spots, Kaka dewarding spots the DD, but they see the Kaka took it, so not a big concern. They're still willing to chase.
And it won't be any type of further pressure, it looks like, although if they wanted to, if they had a smoke, they could potentially make that play or just run up. HFN, bold as brass and ready to go. Man, he does have an MKB.
Sorry, SCCC has been so stalled this game. I can't believe how poor he is. Like, he's been surpassed by his Nyx Assassin in terms of levels at this point. Like, he just can't do anything on an individual level.
Yeah. It is one of the problems that you run into as Kunkka is if you die a couple of times, that snowball will stop in its tracks.
Especially if you don't have that crit, right? Like, you can't just go and, like, nuke a wave instantaneously and maybe try and go for some solo plays.
Well, in the meantime, Pain's still trying to find an answer to break this base. The shrines are available. Oh, Kaka, Aeon Disc, Impale onto an illusion. They're still chasing forward. Moogie, the RP catches back onto 2, but the Hex to interrupt the skewer. No chance for them to jump back in onto this one. The Haunt is there as well, and now it looks like they're going to lose Tavo.
They have the second Haunt, second Abyssal, but wisely they're not going to chase. So good choice on that one.
I will rip you apart.
Yeah, that's the type of Haunt, and it sort of feels like this is the game at this point, that Newbee are comfortable with it going later and later and later. They still have room to grow on these heroes in some ways.
Yes, they could get a core Kunkka. It's been difficult.
It has been, that's for sure. And look at that. Ursa takes the Enrage status resistance.
I think when you have the Aegis, the Aghanim Scepter as well as the other talent, it makes a lot of sense, right? Like, what good is a 600? He can't kill Spectre Haunt illusions or anything like that, so the AoE isn't that incredible.
I mean, and it means that all of this disables do basically nothing to Weehaw now. Aged or otherwise, he can just jump in and 5.5 seconds isn't going to run into any issues.
And they got away with a lot right there. That was a pretty risky spot to be standing as Newbee, but don't feel comfortable. There's always the possibility that he just refresher haunts and you get yourself in a really bad fight. So patience from pain. Well, they definitely lost that little bit of crazy ever since they failed that bottom tier 3 push. And I guess now they kind of got to go back to a little bit of pain gaming, you know, take something that's a little bit risky. Because it feels like they're just getting squished into their base, and that just means a lot of this farm's going to be funneling onto HFN, and Weehaw's going to start falling off. You can't abuse your Empower on any of your heroes if you're just stuck in the base. You're still just getting every wave.
Yeah. Well, and this is the type of play that you need to make. The unfortunate part is that it is very telegraphed. If you're a newbie, you got to know that something like this is coming out, but still standing here in the mid lane with KP.
Gem is on Weehaw, so if anyone else runs into Kaka, they don't have anything to do.
Wrap around, it's coming. You have Kunkka that's away from the rest of his team, actually. Weehaw picks up the haste, runs away.
Chant not there.
And, I mean, they have the MKB on Terrorblade. I think that if Weehaw is able to finish off his, that might be the timing that they're waiting to play around. Like, I don't think that Newbee feel comfortable going in to try and push the base either. They want to get that next Aegis themselves.
Yeah, exactly. They want to finish up the heart on him as well, so. Kaka finds the hero with the gem, uses him up. He wants this, but he's scouted out now.
Haunt comes out. They have the reflection immediately to try and mitigate this damage that's coming in and trying to isolate one. The boat is there as well for the damage mitigation. Weehaw taking a lot of damage. They turn this back around, but the disarm, it's on a Terrorblade. The Hex is there as well. He is going to fall. Tons of damage out now from the rest of Newbee as they did pop that refresher Haunt and going to chase down Ursa. They have buyback, but that one hurts.
Tavo, Abyssal!
They got him caught. A triple kill for Mookie. The buyback is there with the special sound being played. But I think Newbee are feeling quite good about their prospects.
Yeah, they actually leave the gem on the ground there, not even needing it. Looks like they might be sending the courier after it.
All right, no more Haunt. They got the buybacks out of the mag as well. And that is going to signal we need to get out of here. RP is still up.
Yeah, and they're going to get this gem too. So they come back over it and they go, oh, thank you. We'll take 2 eyes there for Kaka. And back into the Roche Pit.
I mean, that's a little risky, isn't it?
Yeah, they can regen 1. Using the X.
They'll maintain vision over Weehaw as he's farming these Ancients. But yeah, this is a little bit scary with no Haunt. And they also have used that refresher.
Okay, yeah, so back we go.
Mookie has 8,000 gold, though. Should probably buy something.
Yeah, he only has a 5K surplus, so he needs the Aegis anyway. There's no point really buying into anything. Just gets the Reaver, but can't even keep it in his inventory, really.
Okay.
Denies the regen move. Got him.
So scary stuff. I mean, I guess, who are you thinking as ideal targets to target if you're paying gaming? Do you go after like Faith, or is SC the one you need to hit?
I think that is one difficult aspect, is that like if they just kill the Ench, the Kunkka is pretty scary if he's totally ignored, but they've been able to focus him a lot. Yeah. Just kind of playing with each other here. Yeah, then Rage, just making things safe.
Scary stuff, and no lifesteal right now on Ursa means that he can't just go back in and hit things. Moogie checks inside. Kind of low on mana, and yeah, he's going to put his TP into his backpack and probably get X back in.
KP with his Aeon, this just feels so safe.
Swaps in, though. That's a little bit scary. The stun comes out. He's still stunned in the duration of that. KP very low. The boat comes out. They're able to catch them all. It's so much damage. They get the skewer back in as well, but the fleet is here. Is it going to be enough? They managed to find themselves another kill. It's only onto the Venge, though. HFN is just running around like a madman, but Moogie might be the one that has too much damage. Another round of reflection here in just a second. The Sunder is there. Can they keep their buddy alive? 5. HF and their carry is eventually going to fall. They buy back on the Nyx, but they also lose Mugi. There's the hop back in. He wants to fight this one, and now they're right on top of Wihatavo. He's going to skewer him to try and save his buddy, but he's going to die nonetheless. Everybody gone for Pain Gaming.
Haunt into instant bash. You can't teach that, folks. Mugi back into it, right in towards the high ground, and just 2 measly supports to try and hold on. The spray back, they've been learning. Team Liquid, they took some notes. KP's ready for this one.
And that is the best 10,000 net worth swing against you that you feel good about. Because Newbee, I believe, might have just won this game. There are no buybacks on these cores.
That's not a buyback in the whole damn game. They're all gone.
And this is looking to potentially be the finish here in just game number 1. Like, what the heck is going on? This series, 54 minutes so far as they're going to assault the Ancient. And it looks like with the swap into the fountain, they're trying to take down KP, but it's not enough as GG is called.
As much as I kind of joked about SCCC in this game, what I really liked about from Newbee is that they're showing a new side to them, where there are different players who can kind of perform different roles. Like, it's very rare. I don't know if I've ever seen SCCC play that sacrificial. You know what I mean? Like, he's buying a gem. This hasn't been a big thing for them, but all the top teams right now, you can never always, you can't truly identify who's going to be getting the most gold or who's going to have the most impact because people are so flexible with it. And they can choose the right player and the right hero for the game. And in a case like this, SCCC had to be that hero, he had to be that player, and he made that space. Like, KP was kind of the dominator.
Totally. And he was the one that, I mean, you know what it is? It's mid lane. Whoever goes mid, that's the one that's going to dominate. But, you know, to be serious for a moment here, you look at this team and the biggest criticism that they had at TI, the biggest criticism that they had all year was that they were somewhat inflexible in the way that they played it. And as you so astutely pointed out, this is the thing that they need to do if they want to go far in this TI. So let's hop in, take a look at a couple of the highlights from this game. And you can see here we're already a decent amount of the way through.
This one looked really good, right? This is where I was like, oh my god, Pain, they're actually coming back. They kill the Kunkka, the big wave player. The guy's supposed to be scary with his boat on the high ground. He just gets, RP'd and then swapped down. But here is when it kind of goes off kilter, because like they don't start focusing the buildings, they start diving, going for a little bit of kills. But like, what were these heroes going to do if they didn't dive? You know, they don't have a lot of initiation potential here from the side of Newbee at this point in the game. Hong had already been used, and they end up getting driven back without getting anything.
Yeah, and, it was this moment where, again, you felt like it was really good and starting to snowball. They did kill off Mugi, which was quite significant. And he did have a bit of a tough time. As much as, like, Spectre ended up carrying, there were a couple of times in the mid-game where it felt like the Haunts weren't what you wanted to dominate, but it was maybe just that thing that was like, okay, we need to make sure we don't lose the game right now, so I'm just going to Haunt and hope that I can save this guy.
Yeah, once they started losing, the Haunts were great. Yeah. When they were winning, the Haunts were not like winning Haunts. They were just like, minor gains for taking away some of your threat Haunts.
Right. That Sunder on the Illusion as well was really nice.
Yeah, trying to keep himself up, but...
Oh, and the break of the blank, yeah. Man. This game had so many freaking good fights, and it was close forever. Like, it was 3,000 net worth lead for so long.
Yeah, it felt like Pain just kind of struggling to get to that high ground. We all know how hard it is these days. And again, even with this focus once more, the Kunkka died. They went high ground, and they couldn't get it. Not enough to focus down these buildings, and KP's just up at the top there, launching in lances. I don't know whatever you want to go for.
I like it.
Spiriting away some spears. KP was on top of it.
Yeah. And I think that this is like the type of game, too, where, I don't know what you change in the draft necessarily. It felt like Pain Gaming in a lot of ways did what they wanted. And yeah, that boat down to the low ground. Maybe if you get that kill on Akaka and just are able to sort of chain stun him, then that doesn't happen. But is there anything that you'd really point to? Because it felt like Pain had an opportunity to win this. Yeah,
no, I don't think it was necessarily any sort of a big drafting issue. I think their draft was harder to execute. I always think that about mag drafts, but Tavo played really well, right? He found a lot of these solo RPs, so can't really fault him on that. Yeah. But I think overall, Spectre by nature is a pretty easy to execute hero in a sense. Like, you just need to survive the laning stage, and then the hero provides so much with pretty much one item in the Radiance.
Mm-hmm.
But you're trying to snowball this Ursa. You're trying to use a mag and offlaner hero that really requires a lot of gold and then very precise movements during engagements, and just didn't quite work out. Reflection actually kills KP there. I thought he was going to get out of that one too.
Yeah.
But this is where our game just went completely down.
Yeah.
Look at that 9K lead as this begins, and then the buybacks.
Oh, man. Yeah, it was nuts. And I can't believe they lost like so much gold. Newbee did in these little engagements here as well, just because of all of those buybacks. But that's the play that you need to make. Like, how often is it that you would be a team and you say, all right, let's just buy back everybody, run down mid. We know they don't have it. It's the play to make, but it's, I think, a play that a lot of teams wouldn't have made.
Yeah, that's what ends up securing for them. So that's and again, only game 1. So yeah, we get to see. Not expecting draft changes, as we said. In terms of like play style changes, maybe just Pain. I feel like they found their like crazy point that they need a little bit, because that's what makes this team special, right? These guys, they know how to dive, they know how to play aggressive, and a lot of those plays were super important. Like diving under the tier 1 is the Ursa for Weehaw, where they just kept killing SCCC. You know, those 2 big kills that were pretty deep for kills, but they gave them that high ground push up in the top lane. That's why they got that tier 3, because it was a little bit crazy. So they got to keep that. They just need to stay maybe a little bit more focused on terms of the objectives, because that ended up being their downfall.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for game number 1. As we said, Pain Gaming versus Newbee is the 4th round of the first day of the International 8. A lot of numbers at you there, but just stick around and we'll guide you through it as we get ready to hop into game number 2 right after this. Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the International 2018. We're hopping into game number 2 of our 4th heat as it's Pain Gaming versus Newbee. I'm Lyrical, joined as well by the wonderful Trent Pax and my man. We saw some craziness in the last game. It was wild. It was out of control. Spectre got completely out of control and then was able to kind of carry it. But
despite Mookie's best efforts, the Spectre did eventually win out.
It hurts.
Yeah, it's quite the hero.
5
He's a
seconds
really good
remaining.
one, and he plays it well.
Yeah, no, he did. That last fight, last couple fights, we ended up getting like triple kills and everything. Really helped to secure their spot in that one. But it certainly was not an easy victory. I don't think Pain would be rated much lower than Newbee, honestly, at this point, just because Pain have been looking good at the end of the season, and Newbee have not really returned to their form since the beginning of the season. So
Right.
coming into it, I would still slightly Newbie. I think I had them in terms of like who was going to win this match, but maybe like 60-40 on a Pain good day, you know?
Yeah, it's sort of, I
10
think that,
seconds remaining.
to me at least, it feels like there's
Pain
more
Gaming.
variance in Pain Gaming, and on the side of Newbee, it's like more consistent. But like the level is still about equal. And I guess because of that, I mean, there's sort of a little bit of bias just because you're like, you remember the games that are amazing more than you remember the games that sort of fall apart. Maybe that's why. But regardless, Shadow Demon, first pick
Pain
overall. So
Gaming's
Newbee really switching it up. Are we going to see, what do you think, Luna, Terrorblade? What's the partner with this? Is Mirana maybe?
Yeah, there's all kinds of options. I think part of it is just, as you said, like mixing it up. It's a very strong hero, and Necrophos was also left in the pool. So they kind of guarded themselves to make sure that if they want the Necrophos, that Pain would have to pick it against Shadow Demon, which with the ultimate from Shadow Demon, the Purge, it's very strong versus Necrophos, and you also have the save of the Disruption too.
10
So it's
seconds
super hard counter
remaining.
versus the hero. And we'll see if Newbee actually want to capitalize on that. Similarly,
seconds
Pain go for the Nyx Assassin, who is a good hero versus the Necrophos, which blocks that pick, coming back from Newbee, but he's also really good against Shadow Demon, because when you have a Shadow Demon on the enemy team, if he tries to make that save play, where he saves one of his allies in the Disruption, that's when you want these follow-up spells, like Jakiro Ice Path or Nyx Assassin with the Impale, because Shadow Demon's essentially providing you with the free setup.
Yeah, and now they're sort of wondering with themselves, okay, now what kind of combination do we want to have? Do we want to have one where the Shadow Demon can play aggressive, all of the Mirana? Do we want to have... I actually kind of like that one a lot, to be honest. But the scary part is that Weaver is picked, and Weaver is a hero that I think a lot of people are high on coming into this. He's such a strong laner and just a monster deal with late game.
Yeah, he's also one of the few heroes that can let your supports roam a little. There's a lot of lanes where he has a super high damage nuke at level 1 with Shikuchi now. It's very high. It's high enough to just take range creeps. It's like 100 level 1. So it's pretty hard to deny that out. So he can play really aggressive. He harasses you. You know, he hits level 4 or 5 and you're winning the lane already. Support can just leave. So we've seen some teams go for like the Venge Weaver before. We've seen teams opt for the Earth Spirit even as a way to actually make that hero viable, because you have a hero that doesn't need help.
Turn to battle.
And it feels like the type of thing, too, as we see the Clinks get taken, where, yeah, maybe you can run the Nyx Assassin there with the Weaver, but possibilities are there as well for something like a Vengeful Spirit, and then Nyx is down there with maybe a stronger laner for HFN. But he does tend to like to play this sort of more hard farming type of heroes anyways. But Clink's a hero that's risen in popularity, and I think particularly... I was not expecting it this quickly out of the Chinese teams. They were not banning it. They were not picking it early on. We were seeing it getting taken in the second phase in some of the games earlier today, and now it's first phase.
I guess just worried about it being banned out. It is a hero that can purchase into things like Scythe or Orchid, which is pretty common these days, just to try and control up that Weaver. Just a nice little option. It puts you in towards possibilities of like a
10
Void or
seconds
something, which is
remaining.
these other big heroes versus the Weaver. And he also can
5
lane in
seconds
numerous
remaining.
spots. So it's a relatively safe hero. And it looks like Newbee are comfortable just grabbing it up first. A lot of the other options right now, like you think about Wraith King was banned out, but you know, someone like the Ursa or something, these other heroes that go numerous places, they don't really have a good matchup versus the Weaver.
Right.
So I think that's why they went with the Clinks.
Okay.
He's also pretty good with Shadow Demon. If the hero you're targeting doesn't have a good escape mechanism, Shadow Demon can just like disrupt them, soul capture them, and Clinks is going to blow them up with the amp damage.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird ganking combo, but oftentimes Shadow Demon doesn't need to play on the map always. Sometimes you want to sit him behind a core, but if you have a core that's either A, in farming in a really safe spot, or B, very mobile and able to dodge ganks anyways, that doesn't end up mattering, and you can just play in that aggressive role. So TA banned out, as well as the Weeha potential Visage. the hero that I think also you can kind of go a couple of different routes with this for Pain Gaming too. If they wanted to, they could go into like a Drow strat with the Weaver.
Yeah, I think that with the Venge Drow being left, that's a pretty high probability. I'm not sure what other... they don't have to reveal it yet. So what they could do is they could go for Avenge +1, and then with their 10th pick, they can decide if the Drow's worth it. Or worth it. It's possible that Newbee would just ban it out, though, because they'll probably see it coming, just because Weaver has been very popular lately. And in a lot of games you see Weaver in pubs, people just see that in their offlane. They just go, I want to play carry. So Weaver, you're going offlane. I'm going to pick Drow, and both of you are happy.
Yeah,
it kind of works. Compromise people.
When pub turns to pro, something Weeha's very familiar with. But it is also the potential that Newbee could take a Drow Ranger themselves, 2 ranged heroes already, and having somebody with a pretty nice save in the Shadow Demon. Not completely unheard of. Don't know if I like it as much as with the Weaver.
Yeah, I really like with Weaver. Just lets you hunt so hard. But they're actually going to ban out the Marauder themselves, and they will take the Wyvern. So this would be the other hero aside from the Venge that you would want in this situation. I think it fits Duster pretty well in his playstyle. Lets him play a little bit far back and look for that big ulti and for Clinks to just kill one of his allies.
Oh. And you already know that it's going to be a lot of physical single target damage coming out from the Clinks. Why not? Cold Embrace. Yep. It's a little bit scary picking it right now because there's a lot of other things that Newbee could run. Maybe a SCCC Invoker as a last pick or something. Even though we didn't see him prioritized in the last game, we've definitely seen him play that Invoker to great effect.
Yeah, Lena, too, is another hero that abuses the hell out of Cold Embrace.
Yeah.
Pain Gaming's turn to pick.
Oh, a blast from the past, ladies and gentlemen. I saw Rubik picked in one of the other games. I think Yapsor was playing it, too.
Yeah.
Pretty hard to believe. This hero has looked bad, but there's one way to get people interested in hero again. It's to give them an Arcana. So the people are doing what they can. Now, what I will say is, you're not supposed to pick them yet. You wait, because once the Arcana comes out, the hero guaranteed gets buffed. So, slight mistake here from Newbee, but I'll allow it. It is more damage amplification. So now you're going to have both the Soul Catcher as well as the offensive aura from Rubik if he wants to toggle it.
Well, and also if this is a lineup that wants to pressure really early and sort of get aggressive, defensive no field is great against the Wyvern out spam. Something that, it was around for a long time, and it's one of the reasons that you would occasionally pick the hero.
Yeah, I mean, this game, it's definitely Shikuchi, right? Every time you see, no matter how bad Rubik is and how many nerfs he gets, if Weaver's in the game, I'm sure it's fine. That's a massive value point, especially with it being buffed again. So
Impale
it's
is great.
Yeah, it's still a great steal, too. It's pretty easy to get Winner's Curse as well if the Wyvern's in any sort of decent spot. And, picking an Enigma into a Rubik, this is what we call bold. That's where a chat wheel should have been used. So clearly Pain have lost a little bit of their edge. Exactly. Yeah. Spot on.
Yeah.
They're going for the bold play. They're saying, show me what you got.
I mean, it is a Tavo Enigma, right?
Yeah.
This is what he does. So what do you need then? BKB Lincolns on the Enigma?
It looks that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
And they still have more picks to potentially counter him out, too. I guess the other thing, though, is that it's not just about the black hole. It's that this hero is really strong in the laning phase. And maybe they will hope to put some pressure on. Because when I see Rubik, I do think weak lanes.
Yep, for sure. And if they Drow last for Pain, that would be pretty devastating, too. If they just did, support Wyvern and Nyx, and that's Enigma, Weaver, Drow.
Pain Gaming.
I don't think it'll happen, though.
Or like a Brood or something.
Yeah, it's true. The Brood is also still there, so pretty flexible options here.
Zeus. This does not look like a Newbee draft. That's what's crazy to me. If you were to show me all of the teams in this tournament, I think that I would probably Newbee.
Yeah,
and
this is some EG shit right here.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is a Fly Shadow Demon. This is the crit Rubik. We got Arteezy on the Clinks.
Yeah.
And we're going to have either
or
a S4 on the Zeus.
A secret or something, right?
Yeah.
Newbee have been stepping it up. I'm impressed with their play so far.
Well, I'm sure they knew that they had to adapt for sure.
Yeah. And it's going to be 5th phase of bans. The Zeus, you talk about offensive null field. This is the game to potentially go for it because it is going to be a ridiculous amount of damage.
Yeah, it's global presence too for their gank squad, so trying to help out when they're hunting with Clinks. It can be pretty much Clinks +1. It can be either Rubik or Shadow Demon.
Turn to ban.
And in the spirit of good hunting, they will take care of the Bloodseeker classic combo with the Zeus. Remove that. But I still like Void. It's kind of, I don't know, Void, it's kind of tough against Wyvern and Enigma. It can go both ways, you know. But
Yeah.
I don't think there's any humongously necessary pick for Newbee in this one.
I think that Void could be kind of
10
cool, though.
seconds
Like,
remaining.
even just another answer for the black hole.
Feels like they
5
need someone in
seconds
front
remaining.
more,
Yeah.
though, you know? Someone who can try and, like, force out these
Turn
bad
to
black
pick.
holes or something. It's like a bristle game or something.
If they pick center, I'm going to lose it.
That would be a little out there. I don't know.
Well, last ban was the Storm Spirit. That type of hero that can just take over the game.
Oh, they found it.
They're regaining their composure.
Oh, looks like they actually played Void
10
earlier today.
seconds remaining.
Okay.
But, I don't know. I feel like someone has to be more
5
upfront
seconds
for the side
remaining.
Newbie. I'll see what they think about that.
Gaming's
What do they
turn
think?
to pick.
They like Dragonite. That's a nice upfront hero.
Yeah.
That I can agree with.
So Zeus in a side lane, most likely?
Probably, yeah, if they're on dire side, so probably off lane Zeus in combo with probably the Shadow Demon, I guess, and then maybe Klink's Rubik.
Okay.
Might see some lane swaps, we'll see. All right, so Newbie's plan, a lot of
10
kills.
seconds remaining.
If you're 5, how strong are Newbie? Not that strong.
5 seconds
So can they
remaining.
5-man drow here and make that work? Kind of looks okay, but
I mean, the high ground defense is not great from Newbee at all.
no. But I think maybe they might not be that comfortable with the lanes because then it's like the Weaver has to go mid, I guess, which wouldn't be that crazy, but they will go Invoker
You may
for
now
themselves, so
select
that'll be
your
our mid
heroes.
hero. A lot of team fight, tons of team fight here. Basically, like Nyx, Wyvern, Enigma, and Invoker all can have a huge impact in those engagements with control elements. But aside Newbie, it's just damage, damage, damage.
Right. Well, it's actually going to be a KP Dragonite. He still might take it mid.
Yeah, our new mid player, Team Newbie.
And Tavo, of course, has the Immortal. Or rather, was it the Immortal or was it Collector's Cache? The set for the Enigma. I'm trying to remember.
That was Collector's Cache 2,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, I think.
I mean, that looks better than Immortal. That thing is crazy. God, I want that set.
The envy is real. I know, it's a tough life, dude.
Wow. Weehaw Invoker, it has done more than a few things. I still remember back in the days, I think it was when he was on Secret or something, when there's that little clip of him in like turbo or in like the demo mode spelling
yeah.
out his name with the meteors. It's like very, very cool.
There was
moment.
also the DC days where he went like Crimson Guard or something. First, like
Right.
Vanguard, first Invoker. That was that was something else.
I think he was talking about it at the summit, how he's like, yeah, it's actually good. And I was like, all right, let's check it out. Let's do it here.
In terms of allies this game, he has the Enigma, like Black Hole Sunstrike, and then he's also got King RD, the Nyx Assassin Sunstrike's always an age-old classic. So quite a bit of assassination potential on the side of Pain Gaming as well. And will they be able to hold off in time? They have the scouting potential of a Nyx Assassin. They have the wave clear of a Winter Wyvern and kind of like split pushing ratty style of the Weaver. And they don't have the best answers for Weaver despite being picked up so early, right? Like, unless they get an Orchid or something, which I really don't see Moogie doing. I mean, maybe he will, and maybe that'll be fine, but I think it's going to be hard to catch him on the sides.
That's fair enough.
But benefits for the side of Team Newbie. Assassination, you know, over and over. Just like every time that they have the Thunder God's Wrath, they can basically go for a big play.
Yeah, and eventually when he gets into that Aghanim Scepter as well. But going into this game number 2, Pain Gaming looking to get a win against Newbee, the TI runners-up from last year. And they have a lineup to do it. Likewise, KP going to be playing on the Dragonite, and with the off-lane build, it does signal to us that it's going to be Zeus played out of mid. We had a couple of buffs recently. I think that it was the damage one, if I'm not mistaken. Like 4 damage or something in the last patch or 2.
Yeah, he's had some help.
And then they also reduced the size of the Nimbus as well. So it's going to be a little bit smaller than probably the last time he played this hero.
I will commit this
So
to
Newbie go
memory.
for a very defensive Observer Ward here. It's going to let them see the rune, but it's placed down super early, so you're wasting a lot of time on it, considering it doesn't do anything for these like 50 seconds, other than, you know, you have to use that to try and hide it.
30
And then on top of that, it doesn't even see to the high ground. So he can't go for any extra pokes or make any advantageous plays by looking at that high ground of the Radiant side.
Yeah, it's very strange. I
Whereas
guess
the Radiant side, it's like the opposite, right? You can like hide in the trees and plant it as a support, so he has the full high ground, but he doesn't have room vision, is the downside.
And maybe speaking to the way that they see this game working out for themselves. HFN is going to be playing the Weaver, and at least for now they're getting set up for securing these 2 runes. Then we're probably going to see a TP towards top lane as per normal, while Tavo just dances to his heart's delight and going to deny out a whole boatload of experience.
Yeah, Enigma's this hero that just doesn't really want help, you know? They kind of have 2 heroes that don't want any help, so there's a lot of freedom for the supports this game. But at the same time, if they... Oh, look at this.
This
Faith.
is...
He's like, it's just going to be a lone Enigma. They're not going to have a support here, guys. That was bold.
Yeah. He will, looks like, make it away. I guess that he wanted to try and, like, zone Tavo out of the lane, but he knew that there was going to be Eidolons, so... Well, unfortunate. And then we will see Faith just TP back over to the tower where he's going to salvo.
He lost a lot of his HP. He's just tangoing.
Okay. Wait, didn't he have a salve?
Apparently
Oh,
not.
that was Mugi. Okay. I was clicked on the wrong one.
Mid lane, Zeus versus Invoker. Oh, look at this fancy thing. Okay, another shield give you an icon. Wow, fancy Zeus, eh? Okay. Poor man shield's replacement.
Because I saw it was like Yu-Gi-Oh! That's what it is.
That makes sense. Tired of the cards.
That's right. Duster, in the meantime, will be spamming out to the best of his ability, while HFN also gets a good bit of damage. Kaka needs to be careful in this lane. And they already have the sentry ward down to maintain some pretty good vision, so they can't just Sakuchi through. But nonetheless, Weaver is a strong laner for a reason. Well,
So, one reason I really like this Dragon Knight down here is because he just has such ridiculous HP regen that if you think about like Zeus coming down here, that would have been like you can't go Zeus Rubik. It would have had to be the Zeus plus the Shao Demon, or like Shao Demon's way stronger in lane,
Right.
And Rubik's so weak. But this Dragon Knight, there's a reason he can play the mid just against anyone, right? He's so hard to kill. And the big benefit of playing Winter Wyvern is that you wait till they salve up, and then you use your Arctic Burn to bring them down to like half HP, and then they're just out of regen. But DK
Right.
doesn't have that problem because he's just going to permanently have regen once he's a couple levels.
Well, and also it's like you can sort of run at HFN, but they can kind of share the region between them. And Kaka already has himself a stick with 6 charges. And in this type of span lane, that's exactly what you want to see. They are looking for the D ward, and Faith will find it, placing that sentry onto the side. He did miss one of them earlier, but afterwards he will open up that pull camp. It's going to have to wait till the 3-minute mark before it comes through, though. Level 3 on both of the cores mid lane. As far as CS is concerned, very even. And it's just even across the board. I guess we got to wait to see how the trades of the regen wars go.
Yeah, pretty much first rotations. I mean, Dragon Knight honestly will probably be the one who creates the most pressure when he actually gets into level 6. We'll see if he can manage to shove the wave in. But someone like this Weaver, there's a reason he's picked so early now, is he's very irritating. He'll just keep Shikuchiing the wave over and over and weakening it, and they're not going to be able to just like sit under the tower completely with only a Dragon Knight and a Rubik, so that'll likely be enough to kind of stall out that level 6 threat from the DK. And then we move on to Tavo, and the level 6 from him is a lot scarier, because this is an Enigma that once he has BKB, there's not really an answer. You could argue that maybe Clinks can just straight up kill him, which is possible,
Right.
but in terms of the more traditional stuff, there's nothing they can do.
And you're almost always going to be able to find a kill with the Sunstrike coming in at the end of the day, too. So, yeah, Black Hole is pretty much going to mean death for almost any of these heroes. I'm kind of curious to see how this Weaver works out as a position 1. I feel like more often than not when I've been seeing it nowadays, it's been in the position 3. And there it's like you don't necessarily like have to become a huge indomitable force because you've got another carry to lean on. In this game, I guess it's sort of true too with like the Enigma and the Invoker for magical damage.
No, it's definitely true. Like the Invoker is your one, realistically. Like he's one of those heroes. You know, he's a TA, he's a Shadow Fiend, he's a win me this game from the mid lane kind of a hero. So HFN will still be playing this more sacrificial, not sacrificial, but like getting farm, but also making plays, forcing kills, being a threat so that the focus is off of the mid lane for Mihawk.
Sunstrike looking for their opening, waiting for it. Mugi trying to dodge, trying to get out of there, doesn't need it.
Okay, fair enough.
First blood, a fundamental principle of warfare.
Wow, that was just our first blood. Thank you, Enigma, for notifying us. That was terrifying.
I mean, he's a spooky guy. He creates... I don't actually know what the lore is behind Enigma. I'm sorry.
We'll ask Slacks. That he's back at the hotel or something, I think.
Sleeping, getting a nap in. But yeah, 5 minutes in, we're going to be able to see bounty runes pop up soon, I'm sure. And the battle forum looks like HFN should be able to secure.
Look at the scouting from Weehaw.
side.
He's going to find Cock with his force and be like, aha!
I knew it.
Knew you were here. And that'll be enough to push him back. And that means he's mid, as he said, during the bounty rune. So they get 3 of them on the side of Pain.
Normally.
Great start for them. Weehaw still having a decent time against
Ooh,
the
Stole that last hit. Got him.
Tavo, though, also going to be pushing back Faith. And all of these lanes feel that much more scary because of the Sunstrike. And he's already got 3 points up and a decent amount of damage. So we'll have to watch for that as Tavo continues to just be a pest. 20 denies in this game simultaneously because of the Eidolons and then by the Eidolons. He actually creates them right next to Mugi. A bit of damage there on only the level 3 Clinks. Impale comes out as well. Right clicks galore. They do manage to find King RD though and wait perfectly for the Spike Carapace to wear off and then get the kill.
Yeah, I like the Faith came in there too, because just in case Tavo would actually press forward anymore, he would have been dead as well with the disruptions. So just help secure that. And they get a kill mid. I was looking for the runes. There's the tips. I mean, if you get the kill on the enemy mid, I have to agree everyone needs the tip. So
Yeah, that's fair.
They'll lose the Arcane Rune though, but not a big deal. No bottle hero here.
I think that Weeha's very happy with that. Cold Snap's a dangerous skill. And when you have heroes in the area, they are going to force back Weeha. But yeah, great stuff from him early on. And if your Invoker is solo killing the Zeus, ain't bad. Kaka is here as well. Weeha pops the sick charge, is still living through it, able to walk away. He's gone. They have the Sunstrike as well. He's trying to hit it. Oh, where's the timing? He's dodging. He's ducking.
Oh, the patience, dude.
They're waiting.
This is good. This is like he can never do anything.
The fear.
All right, he's going for it.
Does he know? There's no way that he knows where he's at.
He's going to deem it not worth mana at this point.
Yeah, and Kaka's like just terrified, just walking around.
Guys, huddle with me, please.
Yeah, they are able to dodge away from the gank onto Weeha, so level 7 on him. Didn't have to go back to base. Full level ahead of SCCC. Impale? Tavo? Push, it's still there. They're going to force out the strafe, and now the rotation in from Kaka. They're going to be able to most likely find this kill. The projectile hits. He's done.
Man, that saves you a lot of HP. Just popping that strafe like that versus all these Eidolons.
Yeah.
Normally.
Down bottom, KP does have the level 6, but so does HFN. Makes going for the kill a little bit difficult. Currently, he's a bit low on mana, but KP not in any position to commit for something here. All right, HFN pops it.
I mean, they're bringing in other heroes too, and they do still have that Sunstrike. Good stun. That might be what keeps KP alive.
Mid lane, they're going in once more.
Weeha found. Drops down the Meteor. The Cold Snap as well. Faith, oh, he ends up dying. But he will pay for it.
Okay. That was a smoke too. That's why they got through past that ward. I think Kaka might have known it was there based on the last thing, and yeah, it's Triple Seal to take it down too after. They probably saw it by now with the Zeus and then kind of intentionally smoked past it.
Okay. Next Assassin hasted. Chasing these heroes down. Kaka not quite level 6, and King RD needs to be careful here. Ooh. Yeah, that feels bad.
Yeah. Kaka, or King RD rather, really needs the tome.
Oh no, and now they move in. They've actually found Tavo. He's dead too. Soul Catcher combo together with the Lightning from SCCC.
That means at this point, though, the Radiant are still holding the top 2 spots for net worth. Not by a whole lot. It's relatively even overall. But Invoker is having the game that he needs. Pretty important this hero is not shut down.
Yeah. Oh no. All right, he had the gloves of haste up there, and then he ended up going back for the belts of giant strength. So going for the treads. This is the build up to the Vanguard build for Invoker. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but just saying that it's the beginning.
You're preparing for it.
I'm preparing.
It's okay. It's just tread to kill. That's every hero.
Okay, you sure? I trust you. You're the Trent Pax. You're the man.
But I would love it if he did. I'll give him that. That I will say.
About 10 minutes in, we're getting close to the second round of bounty runes. As more laughs are being had. It is a Midas relatively soon on the Enigma. About 500 gold away from finishing that one.
This game doesn't quite have the same pace as the last one.
No.
Oh, they're in a risky spot here, contesting this bounty rune with SCCC coming over.
And they are going to find a quick kill there on the
God.
King. It's just so much damage.
That's before the null field.
Yeah, that's crazy. And he actually doesn't even have a static field. That's part of the reason, I think, just maxing out the nukes.
Yeah, and now he gets into the arcane rune too. But there's the tome, so that'll be level 6 for Nyx. Oh, sorry, my mistake. He's 12 XP shy.
Oh, no.
King Ardia, then he can go for a kill.
Walk of shame.
Oh, speaking of Invis going for kill, Moogie tracking Weehaw here. Weehaw wisely not heading towards the jungle.
Yeah. Good decision there. Everybody heading out, they realize that this is what Moogie wants to do on this hero. You run around, you find yourself some pickoffs, make space, but instead everybody evacuates the lane.
Yep. They're going to push to the capital up top
Oh,
instead.
Weehaw finds himself Zeus just strolling through, and that's that level 6.
Yeah. Wait, what?
He didn't even use it.
Oh, he just got cold snapped into a stun.
Yeah.
Well, that's brutal. Losing because now they can go for a secondary kill once he's back up with the Vendetta. But I think that's what you should do. I think you should try and punish him, unless he has Dust, which he doesn't. He's popping Vendetta, so he's committed for this fight down bottom. But someone's going to need detection.
Yeah. Oh, not if it's in within
they're open
range.
the black
And,
hole.
oh, the great play is the Sunstrike. They don't even need it.
Okay.
They have a second round as they found KP and slowing him down in multiple ways. They do manage to get the tower, Newbee. And it does look like Pain realized they can't find that kill on the DK.
Jeez, that must have been pretty close. They had about 20 extra damage there, so they did the math. Nice work. Treads were not on strength. That'll get you.
Kaka able to steal Sakuchi yet again. Just gonna put a stop to the antics of HFN, time lapse and run away. And yeah, the much more normal build, Weehaw going for the Aghanims. I feel like I just have a bit of returned fear from how it went before. Kaka moves in, the initiation out of the Sakuchi. The follow-up stun is going to be there. Old Embrace wouldn't have saved him, and Duster doesn't even have it. So 12 minutes in, another kill. Weehaw is the one who goes down there.
Oh, that was so close to hitting. Duster likely would have been hunted down after that, too. And, although they rotated the Enigma and everyone bought him.
Big play, though. The initiation, the Impale, they get the Black Hole onto 2. They don't have the follow-up damage, though. It's not enough, and they steal Black Hole. Kaka takes it, and now the turnaround. They got to be careful if they dive in too deep. HFN might just go down, but he doesn't have the mana to cast Black Hole. They lose 3 on Pain. Newbee looking good.
And very nice dive there. Way to get back there. And yeah, it ended up being like a defensive black hole, and that's terrible. That's your first black hole.
Yeah.
And you're not getting anything. Plus the Midas is available right now, so ouch. Pain there for Enigma.
Well, it is one of the reasons why you run into some of these issues occasionally. And, you know, you think even if Invoker was alive in that second, maybe he throws down like a Sunstrike and you can get at least one of those kills. But finding none of them, and then also now having to play around a black hole from Rubik. Game is hard.
Yeah, you know they want to smoke with that if they can.
Looks like Faith is going to drop here. Or just walk away. He's fine. Tail doesn't connect.
Huh. They're scared to see if they're going to try and go for the play after, too. Oh, no Sunstrike available at the moment.
KP has had a pretty good series for himself so far.
Very strong. Yeah. It's looking real good. He's got his Blink Dagger too, so now it's time to show off those offlaner skills, get some initiations going, and this is going to be our smoke up with the black hole here. Klink's also prepped nearby. Already used his Death Pact and has only half duration left, so he might not even join the smoke.
Oh no, Moogie. King RD is here. This could be a pretty easy pickoff for him, even with all the other heroes nearby.
He has too much HP, I think.
Sunstrike comes through as well, and with that, they'll find the kill, and then the stun, follow-up. KP should be able to get the kill on the King RD as there is no TP for him. Actually, use the black hole for that. Okay.
All right, man, they're doing a great job getting those kills with the Sunstrike. It's always like so close, you know? He just got one more level on the Invoker, which means just enough damage to follow through.
Well, and now you have this timing where it's, again, 70 seconds before Black Hole is going to be up again. I think Newbee always want to play around those cooldowns, but the kill on a Klink sort of puts a little bit of a wrench in those plans. Also, them not having Black Hole themselves.
Yeah. They will be moving in towards the old Blink Dagger soon, so Tavo will be able to kind of play his game, but even once he has Blink with no BKB, there's a lot of ways that they can handle this black hole, so it's certainly not a trump card or anything.
HFN, they find him. He does have time lapse available, but won't get it off. Veil, everything else thrown on top of him. Quick death for the Weaver.
That was so well timed with the ulti into the Blink stun.
Yeah. At first they were looking for a jump onto Weeha, but he was evacuating mid, and it looks like now Newbee are going to try and pressure towards the tier 1 tower. No dragon form.
Wow. And he didn't go hood or anything on this Weaver either. Opting, I guess, towards what's going to be a Linken's to try and stop the Dragon Knight stun, but it's not the most amazing Linken's game. Oh
my God.
Duster turned to dust.
That is so quick.
And they stole Arctic Burn, which is a great skill for Rubik.
This Newbee lineup is super scary. Like, whenever I think about the things that are good for Pain Gaming and what they can do going forward, it's like, it needs to take so long to get online. You need an Aghanims on the Invoker.
He denied that with the Forge Spirit?
All right, he's a player. This guy's good. This guy's good.
But still, they lost their mid tower, and now they're pressing forward, and yeah, what do they do?
I mean, it ain't great. We gotta be honest. Taking over Eidolons now. Kaka giving more things for the tower to hit before the catapult falls. They do a black hole up again, but you have to hit the Rubik in that one. Otherwise, it's just gonna turn it against you. And well, in the meantime, HFN is gonna split push top.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Maybe again a fight of brewing. King RD walks forward, wants to try and hit with the Spike Carapace, but there's the stun onto Weeha. Kaka there as well. They don't quite have the damage, though, to bring him down as of yet. They do get the Purge onto the Winter Wyvern, who will fall now, but with the rotation coming in, the jump forward, Tavo able to find absolutely everybody, but the stun comes out from KP. There wasn't a BKB. They kill him off as well. 2 dead from Pain. Sunstrike got him.
Okay, a little bit of something back there. Bold black hole there, as it looked like they were starting to lose some. And that did help turn around a little bit. It's still going to be a win for Newbee. Make no mistake about that, but who gets most of the gold? 440 to Invoker. That's a pretty big deal. You know, a lot of the gold lost was this buyback on the Wyvern. So very even stuff all around. So much of that damage coming from the Zeus. And they don't really have any way to stop this. Like, they have to go full out BKBs. They don't have a good pipe hero.
Yeah.
Like, this burst is going to be effective for a very long time for the side of Newbee. And, I mean, you look at, like, for example, how much this Weaver just spent on this Perseverance. There's no stats.
Yeah.
You know, there's no strength from that. He's sitting at 974 when he's on int treads like this.
And he is going to be able to pick up the ultimate orb now, but definitely this is the type of game where even just, you know, the 1 infused raindrops is not going to be enough. So he's going to backpack those now and get up to 1150 HP when he's on int treads. So at least something working out for HFN there as he gets into his second
King RD, he's scouting out here again. He has the sentry, so knows he's safe. Question, yeah, he just saw that rune get picked up. Run! Get out of the way!
Oh, HFN, get out of there. They find him.
But they don't have any detection on the blinker.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's almost wearing off.
Oh. Whew. All right, yeah, get the heck out. It's time to run.
No, this is where you stay. 25 seconds, they'll never suspect it.
Mugi, HFN is crazy. Like, you look at this. They know he's around here. He knows they're here as well. He spots out the Dragon Knight, decides, I don't want to be here anymore. Mugi almost spotting him, but not quite. And while this is all going on, they make space. Tavo is up here top. A black hole with the Sunstrike might be enough. But it's a scary play.
Especially if he catches him with a death back. Then it definitely is.
Down here in the bottom lane, though, they find KP, and that's going to be the better play as they want to try and save the kill for HFN to get back into it. He's regenning inside, but they manage to find the kill on the DK. King RD going to drop.
That's all because he camped out in that tree like that.
Yeah.
That was a really smart play.
Really good play, because I guess as soon as you realize you're not going to find anything with like the Clinks and the DK, one of them needs to leave.
Yeah. But it wasn't that great because there was a counter kill. You know, you're trying to advance, not just go even. And even though it's a core for support, it's still not that amazing. It just allowed the Enigma to keep pressuring top. And now with it so low, this is the push that they want to secure this tower. Question is, will Newbee respond in time? They have the ulti back in about 7 seconds here for Zeus, so this is danger zone.
And again, we've seen time and again Tavo make huge plays on this Enigma. Going for the blink first. He's prepared to make another one happen into one of the best counters in the game in the Rubik. Now, the thing to keep in mind here also is that we do have a Lincoln Sphere on Weaver, which could be passed over to Tavo as he's going for the black hole and then countering out the Rubik.
Dire's bottom tower.
It's not an easy thing to execute by any means.
Yeah, nice scan here from Pain. We'll catch them all. So, smart time to smoke, right? They smoke when the bounty runes are coming up, so they're trying to catch them there. And it ends up working out because he was still in the area.
Yep. Behind the tier 2. I mean, sometimes you just got to accept that that's going to happen, right?
Well, it's so good in this combo with the DK because this is a hero that can go so deep, it's just like a blink instant stun on one target.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, that's not that risky for a Dragon Knight.
And they've got this great combination to be able to go for taking the tower afterwards. Clinks just melts through him. DK obviously renowned for his tower push. And gonna try and finish off these BKBs next, which is gonna really cause some issues for a lot of the Pain Gaming lineup. Faith banishes one, but nothing else to really follow it. I mean, they do have a lot of BKB piercing disables as well on the side of Pain Gaming.
Yeah. The trades haven't been that incredible. Oh, Tavo. Hello. Oh, what up, Faith? I assume they think his team is there. And they're gonna quickly realize they're not.
Yeah, they got vision of him now too. Sunstrike.
Nice. Very nice. Weehaw.
He even turned back there to throw out the Shadow Poison. They still
Yeah, I
were
think, yeah, and like he went right instead of going up to the stairs because he probably thought there was a Sunstrike was going to be, but,
yeah.
you know, the next level, but that will put them into the Roche Pit, and they have the Black Hole. They know there's no Shadow Demon, but they got to be really fast, so need some help from the bug here. It doesn't last that long, though. Even going to Sunstrike Roche to speed this up.
Doing whatever they can, getting that minus armor onto Roshan, but there's going to be the Thunder God's Wrath. Realize what's happening. The Alacrity as well.
They see Clink's bottom, so they know it's fine.
Well, nice pickup there, and with Mugi down bottom, they are able to secure themselves a Roshan, throw that one onto the Invoker, and they bought themselves some more time.
Really important that they got that Roche now because we're 1,300 gold away from the 1,200 now from the Aghanim Scepter on the Zeus. So
Right.
once that comes in, game changes. That is where it's actually impossible for Enigma to ulti anyone, but this Aegis should buy them enough time for him to get the BKB.
Okay. Well, the other thing to think about, and the question I got for you is, this is a lineup that last game at least, Spectre just got out of control. Do you feel like it's a similar thing for Pain Gaming where they can just eventually out-carry Newbee, or is Newbee always going to be a threat?
All down bottom. Speaking of a threat, they're going to find him.
Stun out there, as well as the Spike Carapace. It's onto a lot. King RD trying to run. Will get caught, though, by the Purge, and with nobody else in the area, it doesn't look like they're really ready to fight into this, although they do get the Winter's Curse onto Shadow Demon, securing themselves a kill. That holds back Newbee for the moment.
Kaka's still here holding that Shikuchi too, though, so he's not quite ready to leave, but his team is, so he's getting ditched. I think for Newbee, this looks more like the EG game, where you had Sumail on the Invoker, and he wasn't quite able to get like all the big plays, right?
Yeah.
Like to win the game, and so there is still kind of that pressure on Weehaw that you're not flawless or whatever. You can still go down. Still needs a lot of items. He has himself the BKB now, which is super important, but he still wants the Blink Dagger, and then probably a +1. Whoa, they're going for that kill on Kaka, but he's still scooching away. Has the Yule Scepter still ready, and they got juked.
Well played there by Kaka.
Helps
Again,
when you have the vision from the Zeus.
He is going to turn back around and go for the Eidolon kills and still get out. You know, Kaka Rubik is something that I think a lot of people have forgotten of, but he is well known for this hero. SCCC caught in the jungle. They popped the BKB on Weon, just going to kill him off.
Stuff you can do with an Aegis.
Kaka moving in. Is he really going to try and make this play? KP is here as well. He does have his Blink Dagger back off cooldown in just a second, but the Impale comes out. The turnaround is going to be there. They have the Purge onto Weehaw, still living for the moment. Clinks is also eyeing him up there as the Sunstrike not quite going to hit.
Very
onto the Rubik.
close. But not quite there. And that's a BKB for KP as well. So still, in the end, big win for Pain. Quick pick off onto the Zeus, and we're slowing down. That'll Aghanim. He would have it right now, too.
Yeah.
You know, with the time that he's been dead, plus the death costs.
Yeah, that's big news. We do also see Mugi run away. Tavo was possibly looking for an opening, but Mugi is out of there. I'm just going to TP home now. So tier 2 towers.
Jeez, that
still
poison
up.
almost found Weehaw. close. Oh, and they just saw that get placed down. They know King Artie's there.
Yeah, and they scout him out now with the poison as well. 25 minutes in. And another round of bounty runes. Looks like they'll be traded off as Kaka picks up one. Mugi picks up the other for their team. And they've just sort of traded off sides of the map. Bottom right is where Newbee lives, and upper left is where Pain Gaming are.
So despite HFN not going for like these tankier defensive items, he's just gone for the Lincolns, no BKB, right? That's kind of something that's considered, you know, for the harder games, maybe you have to go with BKB instead. He's done very well. He's only died the one time when they had that ridiculous ulti into the quick burst and everything. So, ooh, Kaka, I don't know.
Oh, Sunstrike, it's dangerous. There was a creep there. He can't get it. And that was the Ags delivered as well. They get the lift back, and Tornado, he will end up paying the price. That one range creep, trade in the damage.
Tough one. And some damage onto the tier 3 here, but not enough to do anything serious. The Mugi, he did not opt for any of these items that, as you suspected, it's pretty tough to deviate from the build right now. It feels like everyone just wants this Maelstrom to help the hero farm, keep yourself relevant during this mid game. If you're not getting kills, you really want to stay active and building towards those next items. So he has the BKB now complete. And then he wants to make that Mjolnir.
Very, very strong, and it sort of is the answer to that Invoker in a lot of ways. Definitely Blast can just be such a pain to deal with, and well, in the meantime, Kaka hanging out here is going to go for another couple rounds. The Tornado lifts up as the Sakuchi goes through, and he's able to find Kaka. That was a great play. The Sentry Ward laid down, and they get him.
Oh, and they find an Observer Ward too. Thanks, Kaka. But that'll really cost them.
Yeah.
And that will be the tier 2. You know, sometimes you can't just feed as a support because weird things like this happen where like you think you're just scouting and getting wards down and you die and then suddenly you're like, oh, did I just lose this tower, guys?
Yeah.
I think I just lost this tower, guys. Sorry.
Well, and you are still getting some split push going on with Newbee as they push out both top and bottom lanes. So Pain can't really try and push for high ground at this point. They need to come back and defend, most likely. But nonetheless, it is still the type of plays like that that you need to try and build a lead. 2,000 net worth up right now for Pain.
Well, one person's sitting with 1,000-ish gold right now. It's Tavo.
Oh.
It still has his 10-second BKB. Hasn't had a chance to use it. No big fights. And he's thinking about the refresher, which makes sense because he basically can't do anything without BKB.
Right.
So why not have 2 of them?
He also went for the GPM talent.
Okay, I like it. If you have the refresher, you don't need cooldown reduction.
Oh, they missed the impale there. Tried to time it perfectly, but it didn't work out. BKB out for KP as they try and chase it down. The black hole is there, on to 1. They move into position to try and see if they can steal it, but the seal was already used, so they can't take it. And now the turnaround here as well, as they have found themselves the Shadow Demon. The blink away, nice play, but they're going to lose 3. Oh, man, and that's the thing, as they chase down SCCC here as well. Is you cannot afford to use that seal on anything but black hole, as Weeha almost goes down, but a triple kill is going to set him up for a very nice rest of his game.
Yeah, and even that, I think they just thought it was just more scouting for the Nyx assassin, right? You know, maybe not the whole team being there and everything. They waste a lot on him, and that opens up a big opportunity for the rest of the team during that fight. Excellent time to use that first BKB, as we were just mentioning. And they're going to start running top. HFN poking on into it, and they know this is the weak tower. So take every second that they have here and try and get this melee rack. I think they should, yeah, they're committing. I like this.
Yeah, and again, you look at it, and it's SCCC without buyback. 900 gold away since he had to finish off that Ags. And this is a melee barracks down, where they failed last game in taking high ground. They're able to succeed now.
And, okay. So Mugi's making the call. He's like, all right, turns out we do need something to deal with this Weaver. So, and not even just the Weaver. It's very good against the Enigma. It's very good against the Weeha Invoker too. If he doesn't get his Lincolns, which he is purchasing, so that will hurt the site if Mugi commits into it. But it's become a very common item on Clinks for a good reason. Is King Artie about to go down there?
Uh-oh.
Easy pick off.
Able to find that kill.
Yeah, I ulti into Nimbus with the Clinks there. It was pretty fast.
Meanwhile,
1,500 damage from nowhere. That is Nimbus, ladies and gentlemen. That is ridiculous.
it's quite a hero. And if you just can keep him in that area, it doesn't matter that they reduce the range by a little bit. If you're stunned, you're dead. Weeha getting close to that level 20. Could either go Alacrity damage or Cataclysm. I feel like with all the big AoE ultis, Cataclysm is really nice.
Yeah.
But the Alacrity damage is also quite helpful.
There is a scan from the Dire. Just spotted the Enigma moving through, but he hops back now.
Roche, 2 minutes before is back up, although it is possible that it respawned now. It's a 7,000 net worth lead for Pain Gaming after that big fight that led to them taking the first melee barracks. It's like Newbee just wanting to secure a little bit of vision for themselves and make sure that they can come and fight for the Roche, since they place down this ward. Another one up on the high ground. I've seen this ward a couple of times now. It's like deep in there and in a position where it doesn't quite block the Ancients.
Yeah, there's a couple sneaky ones with the Ancients these days.
Looks like Heaven's Halberd will be the choice for KP as a way to break the Lincolns. Though he is still a ways away from it. And also they were all spotted out by this ward, which is about to expire.
So still about a 7K lead. I wonder.
Demised.
I think Pain have a better shot at this one. I mean, it's kind of easy to say against the 7K lead, but I feel this BKB Tavo is just so strong.
They see one. They're in the area. Kaka trying to get in a position where he can come and contest. If the black hole is there, they break the Lincolns onto Weeha. They jump forward and they want to try and take Kaka out of the fight. He is dead. Buys back immediately. Tabo still looking for his opening. He spots out Faith. There's going to be the Malphus onto Faith as well as he pushes himself inside. The Sunstrike combos together beautifully and he's done.
They couldn't fight because what happened was the Enigma was smoked up in the back. So the ulti happens from Zeus, but he can't see the Enigma. And so they can't clump at all. It doesn't cancel his Blink Dagger because he's smoked. And so they're like, oh.
Yeah.
We just died. They just had to start running away. And that's going to force both buybacks from the supports. Very nice stuff. Now, you can only do that so often. You know, you only got so many smokes, but they have another one. They could do it again.
The jump forward. They have the Winter's Curse. Oh, the great imprisonment there. Faith saving the life for a moment, but the Impale, it's on it too. Godlike Weeha. There's going to be the black hole on the other side. They get the Sunstrike, kill the boot. Clinks is done, and Newbee need to get back to base.
Tavo with the 2 prime targets. It's Moogie and the Courier. Stuck in the black hole, dragged to the depths of the universe, and destroyed. And that's going to open up Roche here for them as some high mobility being purchased up. Blink Dagger for Wyvern, Blink Dagger for Invoker. You'd think they had him already with the way they played these last 2 engagements. Feels like Newbee just can't get anything. Like the Wyvern post ulti is so worthless.
Oh, and this is the play right here. Tavo, Refresher, hides the Refresher, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that is he holding that back in base? Where's his Refresher?
I don't see. It's in base. The Refresher Orb is definitely, someone accidentally clicked it off the Courier.
I think that he was trying to hide it, and I guess he didn't. I don't know why it wouldn't be staying in his his inventory back at base, but nonetheless, he does have the refreshed black hole.
Shrine is under attack.
So if they wanted to, there could
Oh,
be
he
a
already
big play.
used it.
Yeah, he used it once.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Yeah, that's definitely the hide play. Very nice. Some DJ Dotes. Some cold Dotes. A couple teams have pulled that one off in the past. The Z Freak.
Oh, it's because, does it slow down the cooldown if it's on the ground? That's something I'm not sure about. But regardless, he does have a refreshed black hole ready to go, and Newbee don't have any idea about this.
No.
If they try and take this fight, they are going to get completely
And they're
destroyed.
smoking again. They're doing the same thing.
Oh, they're ready.
So Tavo cannot be spotted here.
They need to find Kaka first. He's the main one that can blow this up and cause problems. Weeha jumps in, trying to create chaos. Kaka, he's used the save. Now they can jump in if they want to. Black hole onto 2. They didn't know, but he steals it. Kaka's able to turn it back around. He gets it onto 3. The Winter's Curse to interrupt that one a second time through. King RD trying to get out of here. Even though they were a little bit confused, they're still able to make something of it. But Newbee getting ran into their base. They find themselves another kill onto Kaka. And now, finally, with 2 dead, Pain looking to assault this base further. They still have a ton of damage coming out from the Zeus.
They're just so far ahead right now. And Pain can, get hit a little bit there with the steal, but it's all right. They're going to pull back, regroup, and Cold Embrace, despite being relatively useless in a lot of games, it is good in these situations where you just kind of like keep everyone topped up, stay around for some pushes, make sure everyone can stay on the map and farm a little bit. And that just means that they won't secure themselves a second set of racks, but they still did a little bit more damage.
Man. And I guess, again, you look at it, it's a pretty rough situation there. Like losing, I guess at the end of the day, they didn't get a tower out of it.
Yeah, no, it's actually fine. Like even in net worth and everything, it actually was completely even, and they just lost Aegis. So
right.
This was a pretty big win for a Newbee, actually, the more reading into it.
They are still 18,000 net worth behind, which is a bit of a problem.
Slightly.
But you take a look at something like the experience, and it's only 10K. I mean, only 10K. It's still rough, but Newbee have ways to hold their high ground and get back into this game. And Rubik obviously did die, so does not have access to that black hole. And they have found themselves the Shadow Demon. Yet again, Faith taking a lot of damage. And dead, and now more. The Winter's Curse. SC is dead as well. KP pops the BKB to try and escape from them. The Tornado is thrown out. It won't connect onto anybody. But with those two dead, they're going to force out another buyback and throw down the Meteor, able to lift up one. A lot of damage out there, and they do get the Spike Carapace, which is going to get the stun onto Mugi, who doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of time to do right clicks.
He has to focus on this stupid bug. It's stuck on him. Meanwhile, the Eidolon's chipping away that tier 3 mid. They almost finish it.
Oh, really
Catapult will.
Does up. Another tower down, and Pain smelling blood. It's 30 seconds away from Black Hole being up for Enigma again. They also have the Refresher that will be up in 30 seconds.
That's likely to be the end of it, honestly. And if they have any hope, you're thinking, we've got to go outside the base in a moment like this and try and take advantage of this Nimbus, but all of that pressure basically just on the blinking Rubik from Kaka. He's scouting around with his gem, trying to make sure there's no wards in the base.
The only one that could potentially have a buyback would be the Clinks. And even he is a little bit short in terms of the gold. We'll go for a death pack here in a second. As Pain lock and load for another round. And with this creep being taken, it's still a little bit short for Mugi for his buyback.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to have much hope of getting it, honestly.
I mean, if he gets taken down at the start of this fight, and they need to kill somebody before Mugi dies if he's in this engagement. Otherwise, he won't be able to have buyback. All right, steal, Sakuchi.
Okay. And he's going to go with his little buddy Clinks, maybe? No, we're just clumping. We're just hiding. Do they make smokes? They do. They have another smoke on King RD. They have found the answer.
Yeah. So often the Zeus is seen as a huge problem, the Rubik too, and now they also have a Lincoln Sphere done on the Enigma.
Okay, BKB, Lincoln's Refresher Blink. This guy's pretty farm.
Yeah, he's up there, and the Weaver just got a heart as well. Has that 25 Sakuchi movement speed.
All right, we smoking? King RD's thinking about it. They have a wave coming. It's likely the time here.
They still do have a little ways to go before the Invoker Sheep, but yeah, this is the way to go.
Switch the Refresher to his good key. I saw that.
Okay.
Tavo's ready to pop that thing. Oh man, if they had vision up there, those 3 heroes. Oh, he's in.
They just use it immediately. They have the Refresher still if they want to make it happen, and well, they are able to get 2 caught out again. A second ulti is out as well. Can they bring these heroes down? Yes, indeed. 3 done. Newbee on the deck as good game is called. And there's only so much that you can do. 2 black holes. That's okay.
Yeah, Lincoln Sphere coming in clutch there, just securing the game, but Pain Gaming looking good. They were getting up there on the side of Newbee, started to take some towers down, but they never quite made it to the high ground, started banging on those tier 3s or anything like that, and they bought enough time for Weehaw to really come online there on the Invoker, and Tavo just playing out of his mind once again. I think he played very well in both games, honestly, like the Magnus and the Enigma. A lot of pressure on him in both matches, and he certainly stood up to it.
Yeah, really impressive stuff. And it sort of begs the question. We saw an Enigma first round banned in an earlier series. I think it was against EG.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we might end up seeing something similar going forward, or at least push towards maybe the second phase of bans.
He's just so strong. He reminds me of Faces Void in that same way, where it's like you always have a chance. You know, you have this Enigma, it's like there's always a chance that you can do something. And then when you're ahead, you saw that, and he just gets this Midas, completely in control of the game.
All right, well, let's hop into some highlights from this game so we can take a look at how it all happened. And I think that we're going to get those highlights up there in a sec. It's the type of thing, too, where like, oh, that Sunstrike. Oh.
That was pretty much as far as they got, right, from the side of Newbee. Just like kind of like pushing down mid. Things were looking good, and they just kept getting this like gank squad going out where it was like ulti, blink from Dragonite, kill a target, kill all the tier 2s, and that worked out very well. Where they just kept like taking tier 1s and tier 2s, but they weren't able to keep that rolling forever. And the first couple Nemesis, as you saw there, like that big fight mid where they just put way too much on the Nyx Assassin and the rest of Pain was just there to capitalize on top of it, really hurt them because this was a very snowbally sort of strat from Newbee. And once that fell apart and a couple items appeared on Pain, it got real dangerous.
You know, I think I've heard you describe it before as sort of like a flow chart for how to play a game of Dota as far as like what objectives to take. Yeah. But it also feels like in this type of a game, there's a flow chart for how you take the fights, where you wait for this particular skill to come out before you use your black hole. Obviously, it didn't happen this time, but like that other one in the mid lane, the big one that felt like it was a game-deciding one almost. The Rubik used his steal on something else. I think it was something that the Nyx was using, and then he couldn't steal the black hole.
Yeah, exactly. He had the Vendetta instead, and so no option there. But that, for sure, I think it was very clear that Pain thought a lot about that part of the engagement, but also just the solution of the smoke was huge. Like, it completely broke open the high ground, and it won them that fight in the mid lane. It got them the Aegis, as well as the Refresher Shard and the Cheese, all because they just used these smokes to be like, all right, well, if Zeus can't see us, and they can't stop these blinks, Tavo's a massive threat.
Yeah. And that's one of the ways that one of the things that you sort of depend upon for Zeus to be a huge part of the team fight is finding those heroes right at the get-go. And I mean, if you are going to go in 5-man around together, you don't need your smokes necessarily.
Yeah, and they didn't really have a lot of team fight heroes, right? Like they have all this damage, but there's no team fight control as you look at those 5 heroes from Newbee. So it's just kind of like if they don't have that perfect vision and they don't instantly eliminate that hero to make it a 4v5, they're not as strong. I mean, there's team fight everywhere on Pain. So many AoE control stuns, and then that just builds up into the ridiculous status of the Invoker, who's clearly the king of that. So well drafted from Pain, and more importantly, very well executed.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our 4th and penultimate series of the day. We have one more that's going to be coming up in just a second. It is Fnatic versus VCJ Thunder.
Oh, that's going to be a little bit interesting.
Definitely.
I think Fnatic, they had some bad games, and then they stomped Liquid. They had that massive game. Spoiler alert. They had absolutely slaughtered them in terms of kills.
You are spoiling things. I can't believe it.
Yeah, unbelievable. I'm sorry. You know, that's why you stay on the main cast. There's no spoilers on the. That's not true. There's a lot of spoilers on the main cast.
There are a lot of spoilers.
But it's TI. I just can't help myself. So.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have about a 2-minute break, and then we'll be back with our final. Oh wait.
Oh no! No. We're going to be here for 2 minutes for the people.
We're talking for the people.
Yeah, this is what happens when we communicate in sign language. I can't properly express myself. What I need from you is your beautiful 2 minutes of insight.
You know, I can do that for you. You know, if anybody's not there, we're here. We're sort of talking to each other. We're hand signaling to each other, Trent and I. It's so lovely. But the the big thing that I think I want to see out of this Fnatic VCJ Thunder draft and game is I saw a VCJ Thunder game earlier, and I was thinking going into this team going out bottom 2. No questions asked. But afterwards, I'm starting to realize that it can be quite strong, and they have a lot of potential behind them. So I think that Fnatic is also one of those teams that can be a little bit eclectic and crazy. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah, I think Fnatic, they have moved away from this like all or nothing position one crazy hero for 50 minutes sort of a deal, be that Envy or Abed, and they look like they're playing much more about this meta. They had a couple games where, like, leading into this tournament, I thought they were going to depend a lot on the Universe Tiny, for example. So idea of just, like, cutting waves and, like, assassinations and delaying the game that way. But they're showing some other stuff. They're playing faster, a little bit quicker. I mean, Envy definitely has that kind of stuff in his toolkit, so pretty important to get that flex out as their end of the run at Summit wasn't too strong. Like a quick finale destruction.
And I think Freeze has gotten better on VCJ Thunder, too, just to talk about them for a moment. You know, you always know what to expect out of the other folks. DDC, just a monster in the support position. And I think that, like, as far as looking at what he's been playing, I think I saw him play a Bloodseeker earlier. These heroes that want to actually, like, get in there and fight a little bit more. Yeah. That, to me, seems like a good way to play Dota right now. And it didn't fit what he did before. Now I think it does.
Yeah, and they took one of their games off of LGD. Which
Oh,
is massive.
spoiler again. Look at what's happening here.
I don't care. I got no rules, dude.
fair.
It's important, you know. That's how you got to get some context for these games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is huge. That
Yes,
pickup
that's
right there.
I mean, that's supposed to be one of like the best teams in the entire tournament, and it wasn't even like a cheesy draft or anything. You know, their tricore is just Necrophos, Terrible Lina. You know, there's no Huskar, there's no Brood, there's no Meepo or something like that, and that's a respectable win. You got to earn that win. They earned it big time.
You know who else took a game off one of the top teams in the tournament?
Who?
Fnatic.
That's right.
We just talked about it.
Goodness. Wow.
So both of these teams.
I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, they started from the bottom. Now they're here in people's predictions and in their hearts, and everybody loves themselves a good old envy meme or two. But this guy came to play some Dota. And
I'd hope so.
Yeah.
I think that's what TI's for.
That's what I've heard. So did Sylar. I mean, when I think about Sylar too, just for a moment while we have some time, I was looking at like his history, and he's constantly been surrounded by controversy in some of the Chinese scenes. Like you look at some of like the kind of battles that he had being an outspoken person against certain organizations when he was on them. And then of course, like he had a famous battle with ROTK where like they were yelling at each other about like his Beastmaster positioning for his Hawk. And he was like, is it better to have vision or not have vision? You've got to have, you know, some real gumption to be able to sit at ROTK, point in his face and yell at him. Like that's not something you do to that guy lightly. And now ROTK's coaching him. He respects that toughness.
Well, the coach of the Thunder. Well, we'll see if the Thunder can pull it off as we will be heading in towards that in just a little bit.
All right,
Stick
everybody.
around.